Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello. It has been 54 days, 54 days, ladies and gents, since the Lions season has come to an end, which means it's been about 42 days since I've given you the initial 2026 Offseason Manifesto for the Detroit Lions. I've got an update for you guys because we got a pretty crazy update regarding Terrion Arnold yesterday. There was some speculation, but yesterday, the Detroit News just comes guns a-blazing. Old school journalism has a fascinating piece about Terrion Arnold. We'll get into that. We'll get into the offseason manifesto. We'll recap that Michigan State win at some point as well. Before we get into any of it, let's set the mood for a Friday. Let's do something fun for the first 5 minutes of the show. There was a meme that went around yesterday. Former Lions defensive coordinator, head coach of the New York Jets, Aaron Glenn. He was at the NFL Combine, as all the head coaches are, and I don't know what was going on at the field during the time, whether it was the 40s, whether cone drill, it was defensive lineman yesterday. But if you're watching on our YouTube, you can see the photo. Aaron Glenn falls asleep at the NFL Combine. Now, I got to admit, bad look, especially for the New York Jets, a cursed franchise. That's not great. But I'll jump in here, man. This isn't just because I've always liked Aaron Glenn. I genuinely feel this way. I'd be falling asleep too. Who cares how fast these defensive linemen or these linebackers can run in a straight line in their underwear? Like, I genuinely do not care about anybody's 40-yard dash in the Big 2-6. All it can do is hurt you. Half the players don't even run them. Like, genuinely, half the players just decide not to run the 40s because it can't do anything but hurt your draft stock. And also, it doesn't matter. Brian Branch had a poor 40-yard dash. It dropped him back into the middle of the second round. I watch Brian Branch play every Sunday. That guy has no wasted movement. Can he run in a straight line very fast? Well, relatively, I guess not. But he wastes no movement. And at the end of the day, the 40-yard dash or whatever, you can just see these at the end on a spreadsheet anyway. Now, should Aaron Glenn have been asleep? No, probably not. But it's boring, and it's useless information. How have we not all come to this conclusion in the Big 2-6 about the NFL Combine? It doesn't mean a whole lot. The main purpose it serves is for you to get to know the players and have the teams and players interact and have the media and the players interact so you can learn more about them. The actual scores that they give and provide and how fast they run, I could care less about anymore. I really couldn't care. So, Kyle, not Carol. I don't really blame Aaron Glenn for falling asleep. Bad look. You know the cameras are on. Can't be doing that. But it's boring. Who cares?
I just love his reaction, right? As soon as, like, he clearly got a text or something that he was asleep because he, like, jumps up and he kind of looks around and does, like, the nonchalant, like, oh, yeah, I'm not on camera right now. You know, I'm just watching the Combine.
It's like when you're in high school and you're, like, head's falling backwards in the chair. You
It's
snap
like
back to reality.
It's like when the dude who's on the Jumbotron at the basketball game with, like, a girl he clearly should not be seen in public with is on the Jumbotron. He's like, oh, and then he realizes, like, tries to act like he's not on the big screen, you know, cover your face a little bit, but pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, like you said, the Combine is just boring. It's funny, too, because David Bailey's up, and it's a guy, they're sitting there doing the broadcast, like, yeah, David Bailey, this could be a guy that the Jets could be interested in with their multiple first-round picks. Like, they need an edge rusher. Let's pin it to Aaron Glenn. He's just asleep. So good.
Bad look, especially for the New York Jets. Like, that could only happen to the New York Jets. but I'll come in and defend my guy Aaron Glenn a little bit. It's boring. All these scores, like an hour from that exact moment, could have just been looked up in a spreadsheet. You don't need to see how fast they can run in a straight line in their underwear before the draft. The purpose of the combine is to get to know the players, interact with them a little bit, see what cloth they're cut with. The actual purpose of the combine and the scores themselves, I'm all set on. That's how I wanted to start the show. Just a little bit of fun for you there. But we do need to get into our Lions Offseason Manifesto because I'm not going to lie, guys. I've got some updates to it based on what's happened in the last couple of weeks. 9 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Ironstack Technologies. They help businesses solve real tech problems securely, efficiently, and without the headaches. When your IT is working the way it should, everything else gets a heck of a lot easier. Ironstack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can find them online at ironstacktechnology.com. So when I gave you the initial off-season guide, the number one subsection I had was fix the offensive line. And there were 4 steps to that. Sign Connor McGovern, Bills center, still on the board. But here were the next 3, which have since been, the strike-through tool has been used on. Draft Francis Mauigoa, Spencer Fanu, or Caleb Lomu. Draft an offensive guard in round 2, and cut/retire Taylor Decker and Graham Glasgow to save upwards of $20 million. So I crossed out those last 3 because I'm not going to take an offensive tackle in the first round if I know Taylor Decker's still around. I'm not going to take an offensive guard in round 2 because the priorities have shifted around a little bit. Here's where I'm at, and we'll get into an off-season, mock draft here coming up in a little bit. I think I want to take Iona Vega, the 17th pick, the interior guy from Penn State, looked at as the best prospect in this year's draft, a sure thing from the interior spot. That's now where my priority lies in the number 1 priority of the offseason, in fixing the offensive line, and we'll get into a little mock draft here shortly. But I guess let's backtrack a little bit. The whole reason we're doing this entire thing is because we got this bizarre story on Terrion Arnold. So bizarre that it's something to monitor the rest of the offseason. And not only that, but it's something that you might have to start planning for, life after Terrion Arnold, because life with Terrion Arnold, it's kind of just up in the air on how long that's going to exist. This could get swept under the rug and he's just not involved. And we'll explain more here momentarily, but it's now time to start kind of thinking about that, which sucks. It's a gut punch. I told you guys yesterday it would really sting to continue to pump resources into the secondary because of the way that they've already done it. They've sent a 3rd-round pick away to trade for Carlton Davis. They've drafted 2 corners in Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. They've signed DJ Reader in free agency along with a lot of like Amik Robertson, Rocky Sin types. And now they're at a point where it's like, hey, their first-round pick's not even through his rookie deal, and we might have to have a real hard, awkward conversation and also pump even more resources into this position group, into the secondary. And not to mention the Kirby Joseph situation. It's grim, to say the least. The update Dan Campbell gave earlier this week at the Combine. I mean, God, if he never played football again, I'd be shocked. If he never played football again, I wouldn't be totally shocked. And I, at this point, don't expect him to ever play Kirby Joseph level football again. You know, the guy who 20 career interceptions, the Lions are 18-0 in games he gets interceptions. That guy's super important to this team and why they were good for 2 years in 23 and 24. And even last year, when he barely played, he had 3 interceptions still. He changes games. That's a guy they might just be living without for the next for the time being. Terrion Arnold could or could not be a guy they're living without. Brian Branch, we know, is a guy they're living without. All of a sudden, I look at the secondary, and it's like, oh, my God. For the 4th year in a row, they're going to have to pump resources into this group. That's why we're looking at the offseason manifesto. We're looking at it as well because Taylor Decker announced he's coming back, and I think we just have to rearrange our priorities because I don't think the Lions are going to cut him. So let's move on. Instead of just bitching about that and complaining about that, let's do something about it. We're rearranging the Offseason Manifesto today. I'm excited. We're going to talk to a voice of the Michigan Wolverines, Boesch, Mr. Boesch. He is going to join the show at 10 o'clock to preview this Michigan versus Illinois game that's happening tonight at 8 o'clock. Brian Boesch will talk to us then. I'm really excited for today's show. Hope you guys are as well. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt, live on YouTube, and live on Facebook as well. Hey, the show, as always, is brought to you by our friends over at Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time, whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, the siding looking a little tired. Bresky has you covered. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades. They treat your family and your home like it's their own. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. By Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in. This is one of the more bizarre stories that we probably will have this offseason, and the unfortunate part is I don't really think it's going away. Let's get this out of the way. Terrion Arnold, as of right now, is not in any trouble, but 5 people he's associated with have, in fact, been arrested for this. So shout out to the Detroit News for being the only person on this story yesterday. We got the report from NBC last week that was like, hey, there was an incident at Terrion Arnold's rental home in Florida this week. And I was like, oh, okay, this is weird. Guess we'll just look away for now. And then the Detroit News took it a step further and actually gave us a rundown of what happened yesterday. Robbery and kidnapping. Anytime that those are the first 2 words involved in a story, probably not going the direction you'd necessarily like it to go, Kyle.
Yeah, that's not a great combo right there, for sure.
This isn't going away is maybe the biggest concern. So just quick recap. February 4th, down in Tampa, a guy named Boesch Hilton was involved in planning and kidnapping people who had been robbing Terrion Arnold's home. And apparently this plan went down while Terrion Arnold was in the car with Hilton. There's a couple people who had been robbing his home. He had hired a private driver, and after a couple robberies, this is maybe the most strange part of it, Terrion Arnold was robbed of $100,000, a phone, guns, and high-level end bags like Gucci or Louis V would be what the...
Not the Louis V.
Not the Louis V or the
not
Gucci.
The Rick Owens.
Jewelry as well. Let's just time out in the story. Why do you have $100,000 in cash, a separate cell phone, and jewelry being stored away in this Airbnb? That's like one thing I want to know. What was going on inside of this Airbnb?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good point. It seems like this person was someone that Arnold had previously trusted and hired to be, to work for him, and so clearly he had some level of trust with this person, and
the home was robbed twice.
Right, and they had basically figured out, yeah, this guy is robbing me.
And then the story goes on to say, the documents, 7-page document from Florida goes on to say, Arnold took matters into his own hands. But again, Arnold's the victim here, right? Arnold's the victim of being robbed.
Up until this point, correct.
It's technically still. Like, he hasn't been arrested.
Sure.
He hasn't been anything. Like, nothing by law has happened to Terrion Arnold quite yet. He's just involved in this situation. A couple people tried to lure some folks away from the house to be able to kidnap, and they end up just getting brought into the house, held at gunpoint, beaten. Like, there's this crazy incident, and then they wait for the driver to come in because he's suspicious of, like, what's going on. Then they take him, and they basically just hold these people at gunpoint after beating them up.
Until they admit to giving the stuff back, right?
Which they never do.
Right.
They never admit to it. And Terrion Arnold never shows up. So thank God, I guess, for his sake. But nonetheless,
I mean,
kind of seems like he's just involved in this.
Yeah.
And even if he is, like, out of trouble with the law, we got to have a conversation about this guy. Like, it's so funny what happened yesterday with Calvin Shepard saying Terrion Arnold needs to be quiet and play football. And then less than 12 hours later, it's like, yeah, Terrion Arnold involved in kidnapping and robbery that involves theft of jewelry, a phone, $100,000, guns, all this stuff. That my biggest question is what was going on at this Airbnb even before all this stuff, and why does he have $100,000 in cash? Seems like a weird thing.
Yeah, he's a very wealthy person. These athletes probably just like to have stuff like that on them. But
okay, then what's up with the guns?
Well, yeah, sure, yeah, that's fair.
Just kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, in this story,
an additional phone that's just kind of sitting there. Like, what's that being used for?
Right.
I don't know.
You said, like this story is technically nothing has been come out about Terrion Arnold yet, but still, like,
he's the victim.
Sure. His name is brought up several times, like in this order that the court has been now reviewing, I guess, if you want to say.
The paper said he's in the car with Hilton, the guy who planned the robbery.
It states that he basically hired a hitman. That's essentially what he did here. He hired a crew to get back to this person that was stealing stuff from him. And once again, like, a huge shout out to Nolan Bianchi of the Detroit News, because I don't know how anyone else is not on this.
Well, I think
just because
it's like
maybe
the Beasley thing is just
right.
like you don't want to touch it unless you know exactly what's going on. And the Detroit News is the people that had the Beasley thing too.
Yeah, and it's just a really good article. I read it a couple times yesterday at the gym because I was just oh my, it just got crazier and crazier as you went through it.
I read it once and was like, hold on, there's like too many names involved. So I went back and just took notes on the entire thing, reading it a second time.
Yeah, it clearly is. My number one takeaway is, like, why not just call the cops? You know, like that was the very first thing I thought of. Oh, this guy's stealing a ton of stuff from you. Why not call the police?
Oh, okay, but this kind of piggybacks off of what I was saying. Like, you call the police if you're not in the wrong. Why do you have $100,000 in guns and like these? Like, I don't know, man. Something just seems like you call the police if you're not doing anything wrong. You avoid the police and take matters into your own hands if there's something else going on. And now we're getting into, like, I don't want to be throwing anything out there.
Yeah, we're about to get full private investigator mode here.
I mean, I don't want to throw anything out there and just accuse people of things that aren't real. But, like, if we're doing the conspiracy things, like, you and I kind of had adjacent thoughts of, like, why do you not just call the police? Okay, then my thought is, what's going on at this home? Like, why didn't you want to get the police involved? Why do you have this cash on? Like, you don't live there. Why do you have $100,000 of cash? I think here's where I've landed. The Lions, more so than we initially thought, probably should start planning for life without Terrion Arnold. And who knows, maybe nothing comes of this. And he's, for one reason or another, kept clean. There's a fall man, and nothing ends up happening to Terrion Arnold, and life goes on.
Feels like it totally could happen.
For sure. And I think to speculate what's going to happen with Terrion and the law, like at this point, who knows? But if you're the Lions, you need to be prepared for worst case scenario. They declined to comment. I'm sure they didn't really know what was going on either, would be my guess on this. In my head, there's a doomsday situation, though, to where Kirby's not playing week 1, Branch is not playing week 1, and now it's not so much that they lose the player that Terrion Arnold is or could lose, but just like there's another person you got to find to be your starting corner, which to me says, if we're doing the offseason manifesto, guess who just became a bigger priority to re-sign would be Mich Robertson, and just have him play as the outside corner this upcoming season. Like, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I want to see how this thing unfolds. The fact that there's been 5 arrests made and Terrion Arnold hasn't been one of them, maybe he's just going to be like, hey, man, he never showed up. We know this is he's tied to this in a way that's probably not good, but we can't really get him in trouble for anything. I'd be curious to see how the Lions were to handle that, if that ends up being the case, where it's like, yeah, man, law says he's clean, but we all kind of know something else deeper is going on here.
You know, the craziest part about this is, this is the second weirdest Lions cornerback incident in the last 3 years?
The Cam Sutton No, this one's
the
weirder.
Cam Sutton thing?
This one I would say is weirder.
I don't know. The Cam Sutton thing was pretty bad.
It was bad. This one's like a mystery, more so than the Cam Sutton one.
Yeah, true.
The Cam Sutton one was
Clue
just
here.
Yeah, the Cam Sutton one, we knew exactly what went down.
Was he in the spa when it happened? What was the weapon? You know, like this Arnold thing is. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out, just because, like you said, there isn't any concrete like, oh, Arnold is for sure connected to this. It seems like a lot of this is just like, yeah, he was in the car when they were talking about it, but none of the people that are involved in this are like admitting to being involved with Terrion Arnold. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it will be something that the NFL waits to see what the result of this court order is.
Doesn't it kind of seem like the NFL had no idea what was going on?
The NFL has no idea what's going on with any of these players outside of the games that they play, because of clearly how they handle all the off-the-field stuff. So, I don't know what's going to happen. Nonetheless, though, it's not good.
No.
like this is clearly just something that's not good for Detroit, Arnold, everybody involved.
No, his girlfriend was one of the people involved as well. Offseason manifesto. Let's update it. Let's do a 3-round mock draft when we come back, except it's actually a 2-round mock draft because Well, Isaac Gislaw just had to be a member of the Detroit Lions. 989-837-6125. Oh, come on, you can't boo them. We're not allowed to do that.
I was booing the fact they don't have a third-round pick. Oh, we have a 3-round mock draft, and you don't actually have one? I mean, what the heck, dude?
You're supposed to have
just lying to the people.
You know what? I have some thoughts on that when we come back. Blasphemous. Locally owned and proudly operated, that's Ace Hardware in downtown Midland. They're your go-to spot to gear up for spring. Stop on East Main Street in the heart of downtown Midland. That's Ace Hardware, helping you get ready for the season ahead while supporting your community.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. By Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Let's take a look at the Mitt messages here regarding the Terrion Arnold situation. James says, did he commit a pass interference penalty as this was going down? Wait, no, not did he. That's funny, though. That's funny. Committed way less pass interference calls last year, though, just so we're all clear.
Funny joke, though. Like, I like it.
10 out of 10 joke. Alex says this seems like a Waymo headline. Come on, man. You mean a community MVP, Jameson Williams? The community MVP of Detroit for his extensive outreach in Detroit, donating over 250 winter coats to DBG Detroit and hosting Thanksgiving events. That guy?
You just have that pulled up, ready to go.
Yeah, he was the community MVP. Don't be throwing J-Mo under the bus like that.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. We can't be doing that to Waymo, man. That's messed up. We do have I like this YouTube chat from Chris, too, by the way. He says, the Lions are always talking about having players that fit their culture. I guess we'll see if they mean it now or if it was just talk. Because nonetheless, like,
they got rid of Cam Sutton real quick.
Whatever trouble he gets into, whether it's any or some, like, the Lions can still, exactly, like, the Lions can take whatever, like, what they want to do with Arnold. So he was a former first-round pick, and he's still on his rookie deal. Like, I'm interested to see how this goes down. And it's probably not going to be something that's solved right away.
No. I would imagine this is just kind of here all offseason.
Yeah.
Until this guy shows up to training camp and is practicing, like, I'm not forgetting about this at any time. I mean, the Lions had 2 years left on the Cam Sutton deal when they were just like, nah, you can get off our team. And Pittsburgh was like, we'll take him. Bring him back. Reunion time.
He also was terrible.
Yeah,
so like sucked. That added in.
Terrion's not.
That added
into
it.
Terrion's playing that much better.
But it's different though. Like I think it is different.
When
like
it's a first
round pick, 2 years removed. Like I don't think they would just boom cut him. But maybe they would because of the situation. Who knows?
Looks like his time to Detroit is coming to an end. Can't stay healthy anyway. That's from Alexander. Yeah, I don't think it's like – I think that whoever left that YouTube comment made a good point. Like, yeah, we do pride ourselves about the culture with this team. Does that mean it's time to cut ties? Whether or not he gets in trouble with the law or not. I think it'd be pretty naive to be like, nah, he's innocent. Even if he's found – like,
he's involved.
You just got an OJ text, right?
Yeah. I mean, we had a YouTube chat. Like, this was something that O.J. Simpson was arrested for in the mid-2000s. It was a pretty similar situation to this. Now, that was O.J. Simpson.
Correct.
You know, like, kind of has a little bit of a reputation. I think we could say that's the word for that. So, but still, like, this is something that is clearly he's connected to this in some way.
Yes.
It's just about does he get in trouble or not. Whether or not the Lions care about the trouble or not, that's what we're going to find out.
Yeah, like, again, different degree, different level of player. But when OJ got off the hook, it wasn't like, oh, forget about it. OJ's innocent. Like, that's not what happened, you know?
Gary says, how will we replace 23 tackles and 1 interception?
When did Terrion didn't get an interception? Did he?
No, we're talking about Terrion Arnold.
That's what I'm saying.
He had to have gotten one. He had to have gotten one.
That was like a whole thing. Terrion Arnold had never gotten an interception.
No, he got one last year, didn't he?
Remember, got taken back. There was a penalty.
I mean, I'm trusting Gary here.
Hold on. I don't think Terrion Arnold has a single penalty. Or has a single. He definitely has a penalty.
He's got plenty of those.
Let's see. In his NFL career, yeah, he's got 0 interceptions.
Wow, Gary. Maybe I can't trust you anymore.
Fumble recovery. Oh, no. I'm lying. He does have one. He's got one. I don't remember that, though.
I thought he got one last year, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think if we're doing Offseason Manifesto, it would be we're starting to think about planning for worst case scenario, as the Lions have to adapt to doing now, because that's not what they did with Frank, and they learned their lesson. And now it's time to do that and to dump even more resources into the cornerback room, where the secondary in general, pretty tough, especially considering there's another guy in the secondary who you might have to replace at some point too. So with that being said, 3-round mock draft, which is really only 2 rounds, which means before we start the mock draft, can we all agree that we'd just rather have 2 third-round picks with all the needs that the Lions have, and maybe cornerback is now one of them, safety now one of them, has always been, but like with Joseph, maybe with the update that Dan Campbell gave, maybe not playing again, who knows? Safety being one, defensive line, offensive line. If you ask 100 Lions fans, are any of them sitting there like, oh, hell no, I'd rather just have Isaac Tesla than the 2/3 this year? Because to only have 2 picks in the first 100 picks of the draft, that's tough, man. That's real tough for the situation that the Lions are in. They could really use an extra 3rd-round pick, let alone 2 of them, because they would have had 1 extra pick because of the Aaron Glenn hire for the Rooney Rules. I don't know, man. With Isaac Tesla, he's a fun player. 16 receptions, 55 yards after catch, 239 yards in total, 0 drops, 6 touchdowns. The question becomes, who would be the Lions wide receiver 3 if they didn't theoretically trade up in the 3rd round and do that? I don't know. Tim Patrick wasn't the wide receiver 3 until like 4 weeks into training camp when he got cut from Denver. I feel like they would just figure it out. I'm out. And this is now like it's not an anti-Isaac Tesla thing.
It kind of seems like it, right?
It's not an anti-Isaac Tesla thing. It's an anti the draft capital they utilized to go up and get him. And He had a fine rookie season, but now that we're sitting here with all these needs, it's like, man, 2 3rd-round picks sounds pretty nice. I would trade him away for 2 3rd-round picks.
I think the people of Hudsonville probably would be against this hypothetical here, but outside of
My
that,
biggest basketball rivalry.
Really? Did you ever win?
For sure. No, they kicked our ass.
Yeah, that's why I asked. But I think that if you would have known the year that Jamison Williams was going to have, which both of you and I were pretty hyped up about the year. Like we kind of expected Jamo to break out last season.
So did the Lions because they paid him.
Well, yeah, but they paid him like 8 hours before the season started. You know, so like that was. But I'm saying at the time of the draft or whatever, like if you would have known, yeah, Jamo's going to have the year he's going to have, then sure, maybe you would have been like, let's just not draft Tesla. And that's still a guy that is just, man, he's so polarizing with the Lions fans.
Is there a chance he can just gain 20 pounds this offseason and play tight end? He's 6'4", 214.
For sure not, right?
Why not?
How often do we see wide receivers convert to tight end in the modern day NFL?
Not a ton.
Like
But
maybe never even.
He's 6'4", 214 pounds, gains 20 pounds of muscle, and can just be the 3rd tight end. I mean, it's a room that they got to address this offseason regardless. Who says no?
I think I do.
Okay.
Let's get into your mock draft.
Fine. The mock draft, the 2-round mock draft, that's actually a 3-round mock draft because the Lions don't have any 3rd-round picks. Number 1 pick I have is Iona Vega, the Penn State interior offensive lineman. I don't really have much else to say about him other than he's the best interior offensive lineman in this year's draft and considered a sure thing. By all accounts, this is the guy in the interior part of the offensive line in this year's draft. The reason he falls is because it's just not a premium position. But if Taylor Decker's coming back, I'm not drafting an offensive tackle for him to sit on the bench. I'm drafting someone in the 1st round who I know can help, and I feel like this guy's clear-cut someone who can help the offensive line upon arrival. That would be my pick at 17. Any pushback?
No, I mean, I'm all in on this. This was kind of the one I was all in on even before we knew the Taylor Decker play, just because I didn't want to have the risk of like, oh, you draft a tackle and then Decker's actually coming back. Oh, man. So I was kind of all in on going interior of the O-line. And like you said, anytime there's a guy at that position that is getting picked as high as this in the middle of the 1st round, clearly is viewed pretty highly across the NFL. So I'm with you.
2nd round pick number 50. Keontae Scott of Miami. He's a nickel corner / safety, similar to the way that Brian Branch was utilized in college. He's 6 foot, 195, 24 and a half years old. Last year with Miami's awesome defense, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns allowed, a 69.9 passer rating when he was targeted for opposing quarterbacks. The scouting report on him: closes with conviction, hits like a linebacker, great blitzer, uses physicality to his advantage. Does that sound familiar to you?
Brian Branch.
They're going to need another safety at some point with Kirby Joseph, TBD. They might need more help in the secondary than we thought with Terrion Arnold out. Brian Branch, we know, is going to miss the beginning of the season. I would draft him and have him be, long-term, 3 guys that could, you got options. You could play him at the nickel, which Amik Robertson has been playing the last year or so. You can move him to safety to play with Branch and Joseph. You can just run 3 safeties. If Joseph doesn't play, you can play him and Branch together. It's someone you can bring up in the box. That's my second-round pick. I like the flexibility that he brings to the secondary. And suddenly, I think the Lions need to pump a little bit more resources into that secondary. Safety's always been a need. Terrion Arnold being TBD, I guess, now makes the secondary even more of a need. I'm avoiding defensive line here and just going back to the secondary and grabbing someone who can play multiple positions, the nickel or the safety.
Yeah, I mean, I could get behind this. Obviously, the draft comes post-free agency, so that clearly is affected by what the Lions do in free agency. If they don't address the edge at all in free agency, which seems pretty unrealistic, obviously you need to take one with the first 2 rounds. Like, no doubt about it, right?
An edge?
If they don't...
I don't think necessarily.
Then who is playing in there? If they don't get one in free agency.
Well, does get one include retaining Al-Quanine Muhammad? I mean, which I think is just more likely now than it was a couple months ago.
Okay, I guess me saying they don't acquire one would mean that he's leaving. Sure, I guess that's kind of what I meant.
Then, yeah, I would say you're right. But I think they're more likely to address that with re-signing Muhammad or in free agency.
Yeah, then I would agree. Like, I think it is pretty unrealistic that they don't bring back Muhammad / sign an edge at all. That
I've
would
seen
be
Khalil Mack thrown around a couple of times.
I think it's more likely they do that type of route than draft one, honestly.
So do I.
Just because they've been pretty they like to develop their guys when they draft them, you know? And so it would be I think getting someone that could be a huge impact right away is more meaningful for this group. So, yeah, I mean, I could see it. I'm with you on the fact that, like, a guy that can just be a piece defensively where there's so many needs, and by the time week 5 is here, they're probably going to have 1,000 injuries again. So just having a guy that you could play in multiple spots definitely feels like something that, 1, they want to do, but 2, just would be beneficial for the team in general.
And someone who kind of lays the hit stick, lays the boom, can play all over the field. Like,
brings the boom even.
We talk about Brian Branch as like a queen on a chessboard, just with all the different ways you can utilize him. I feel like Keontae Scott might be one of those guys as well for Miami, so that's why I have him going in the second round.
Well, and like Nick Eamon-Warry for Seattle, a guy who, by the way, just starred at the Combine last year.
Yep.
And had all these stuff like, I don't know, his size is kind of weird for his position. He's not really like fast enough for the blah, blah, blah. That guy was awesome on a Super Bowl winning defense as a rookie.
Yes.
Taken in a similar spot, you know, like in an early second round situation.
But he was a safety that you thought could play in the box as like a linebacker. Keontae Scott's a little bit more like nickel back. He played nickel in college, and you project him to play as a safety.
But just the fact that they're both kind of like I don't really know what position they are. I think that those guys can hit more times than not.
Especially in the secondary. That's just like kind of been a trend here. Every draft has one of these guys now, whether it's Malachi Starks last year or Eamon-Warrior, Kyle Hamilton, Brian Branch. It feels like every year we get one of these guys that just plays this new hybrid safety linebacker nickel position that we don't really have a name for yet, but you're seeing another one of these guys get added to the NFL every year. And Keontae Scott might be the latest guy. So I'd have the Lions taking him and addressing the secondary room because it's grim. It's grim there, to say the very least. 989-837-6125. And then, of course, we got to ask ourselves, would we rather just have 2/3 than Isaac Tisla? I think the answer is undoubtedly yes. 989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. We're doing our offseason manifesto, updating it for the Detroit Lions. Version 2.0, because we did 1.0, a week after the Lions season ended? And we've had to make some tweaks and adjustments because Lions announce, or I guess Taylor Decker announces he's coming back. Terrion Arnold situation. A lot of good reasons to update it.
Is this going to be like the Mel Kiper mock draft where we do like a 7.0 like by the time we're in July?
July? Draft's going to be done by July.
Yeah, but then we have the fully updated like I was just making a joke.
Just doing it every week. It would be fun to keep doing. I think it bores people when we do anything more than 2 rounds though. You just get into the real nitty-gritty stuff. Okay. Midland Area Community Foundation, they're dedicated to strengthening our community through generosity and connection, supporting local nonprofits, scholarships, and projects that make Midland a better place to live, work, and play. It's the Midland Area Community Foundation. When we come back, more on the Detroit Lions, somehow, it's February 27th. We're still finding ways to chat about this Detroit Lions team. We'll do the Michigan State game as well in the Mitt Morning Catch. It's all coming up here on the Ben Bosscher Show.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, Lions Manifesto, that's the theme of the show today, but we got a lot of other stuff going on too. Kyle, update us on what's going on in the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, let's hop into it. Man, last night, MSU picks up that huge win over Purdue. Probably the best game that Michigan State has played this season. It was the first time they've won in Mackey Arena since 2014. They were showing some cool highlights throughout the game of that last win. Gary Harris had a huge game. Adrian Payne on the team. Like, just a lot of, a long time ago. Like, it's definitely just a weird thing to think about. It's been that long. Purdue now has lost at home to Michigan, Michigan State, and Illinois this year. Pretty unreal. But yeah, big game. Cohen Carr had a huge slam, made a huge impact. Jeremy Fears played one of his best games of the year, despite the stat sheet not necessarily showing that. And a huge win for the Spartans at the late part of the season.
I think I've given up on figuring Michigan State out. And I don't even just mean this version of them. The ups and downs we have with Michigan State the last 3 years throughout the seasons, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It really, it's like the highest highs, the lowest lows in terms of what we think about this team. It's they're overrated. They've got this ceiling, and then they go out and beat Illinois and Purdue in a matter of a week and a half. They're such a tough team to figure out. I don't know what they're going to do in March. I think I've given up on trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Like, I still don't know. I don't think they're in, like, the elite tier of teams in college basketball. I still think they're in that next tier down, but this certainly helps them because I thought that them and Purdue were in the same tier, and Michigan State beat them on their own home floor last night. And, like, they played a full – it wasn't one of these games like, oh, they played bad and had to come back. Like, they legit just played really well the whole game. It was a really good basketball game on both sides. And it's really important now that we're at the end of the season because the top 4 teams in the Big Ten get that triple bye. All 18 teams are making the tournament this year. They switched it up from last year where I think only 15 teams made it. The bottom 3 didn't even get a chance to compete.
You know what? That's the way it should be.
What?
If you got to earn your way into the tournament, man. There's 18 teams in the Big Ten. If you finish with 1 win, you don't deserve to be in the Big Ten.
You know what
tournament.
more games equals, Ben?
More money.
More money. Yes, correct. But yeah, the top 4 teams that finish will be triple buys. So it's very important. Michigan State and Purdue were basically playing to stay in the top 4 last night. Purdue falls out. They're 5th. If Illinois loses tonight, then them and Purdue are going to have a little bit of a tie going on there. But yeah, big time stuff. Kicking it over to hockey, the Wings win in OT last night. Dylan Larkin, man, we talked about how long is he going to celebrate the Team USA stuff. Clearly, he's locked in on the Wings because he scores both goals, including the winner in overtime. Huge win for the Wings last night.
You see Dylan Larkin, 13 overtime goals, breaks a new franchise record.
Really?
I would have thought it was higher, but I guess to score a goal in overtime, it's tough thing to do. I guess the stats maybe the last couple of years and going forward might be a little skewed just because it's a little easier to score in overtime with a 3-on-3, maybe. But nonetheless, nobody has more overtime goals than Dylan Larkin in Red Wings history. It's just been a great couple of weeks for him. I'd argue there's not a lot of guys that have had a better month than Dylan Larkin. Probably Jack Hughes. He's in that list.
Oh, you're just saying like in general?
Just in general. Dudes.
Yeah.
Dudes across the world.
What dudes have had a better month? Yeah, I mean, just anybody that was really good in the Olympics probably is all involved into that. But yeah, like just nonetheless, like what a way to come out of this little break for the Wings. They're back in action tomorrow against the Hurricanes at 7. Still on the road. They're on the road throughout the entire weekend. Yep. So hopefully they can get some road dubs. Tonight,
you said 7 o'clock?
7, yes.
So Michigan State doesn't play until Sunday.
Correct.
Michigan's not in action on Saturday either because they play tonight. So the Wings at 7, and then what else is going on this weekend? We got Elimination Chamber on Saturday night.
We're going to have some, if you're a real college basketball sicko, a good amount of the lower tier tournament conference championships are this weekend. So that's if you're a sicko, of course.
Is there any like fights other than Elimination Chamber?
I don't think there's any main.
Not a lot of
there is not a main card till the middle of the March in UFC. Yeah, there's like not a lot going on this weekend. You're right. Maybe
everyone's
it's a good
scared to compete with the Elimination Chamber.
Right, whatever that is. Good weekend to go catch a movie or something, right?
I was thinking about that. I haven't gone to the movies in a minute. There's not a lot of good movies.
But I still haven't seen Marty Supreme though.
Oh,
that was my issue.
A good one.
That was my issue. I never went and saw it. I know. I'm just gonna wait till it comes out. Wuthering Heights is out right now. A lot of people have been talking about that. It's not really my vibe, a movie, but
the Ryan Gosling movie about him in space, I think, just came out. But that one, I don't know. That one didn't really get me that interested.
I can't say I know what that is about. So.
He meets like an alien, and they got to save his planet together. Yeah, I don't know.
I am a big Gosling guy, though. So
I like Gosling, too.
I'll find something to do this weekend. Okay, we'll do a couple more things here in the news, and then we'll save the rest for later. I do want to save the NFLPA survey for the second part of the news because we can do a lot of time on that. But Pistons-Cavs tonight at 7 on ESPN. It's been the big week for Detroit. We've talked about it all week long, but I feel like this is the big game. This is the one that is really important for, like, how good is Detroit for sure in the East. If they take care of business against Cleveland, I feel good against everybody. We'll see how this one goes, though.
It's the big game in terms of the standings in the East. I still think the Spurs game, to me, was the big, like, I couldn't wait to watch it, and it delivered in every way, and it scarred me in a way where it's like, oh, man, I don't ever want to play Wemby again. He's scary. It was like, it really was. I'm still, like, kind of mind blown as to how much he impacted that game without really having a great game. Like, if you were to just kind of watch the highlights, most of his stuff came in the last 2 minutes.
Still talking about Wemby, huh?
He's unbelievable.
4 days removed from that.
It was crazy. The Pistons couldn't score in transition, and then Cade just couldn't do any of his pick and roll stuff with Duren. I don't think he blocked Cade once, but he affected every shot Cade took. It was crazy.
And then the big one tonight, Michigan at Illinois, top 10 matchup, number 3 versus number 10. Michigan 1.5-point favorites. Kind of seems low. I know they're on the road, but based off of how things have been going for them, and we're about to do a preview of that.
Well, with that being said, you got anything else left in the news?
No.
Okay. With that being said, we're going to bring on Brian Boesch to talk about the Michigan Wolverines, voice of the Michigan basketball team on the radio side of things. So that's coming up here in just a moment. Hey, guys, Pizza Baker, downtown Midland. It's a Friday. You can cheat your diet a little bit. Head down to Pizza Baker and grab yourself a za wood-fire pizzas that's got that crunch and that flavor that you just can't get everywhere else. It's a perfect size. It's not going to drag you down the rest of the day, but it's going to fill you up. It's the perfect pizza. Head downtown Midland to grab yourself lunch. Today, that's Pizza Baker, downtown Midland. My favorite's got pepperoni on it. It's delicious. All right, Brian Bosch next.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Today for the Michigan Wolverines taking on the Illinois Fighting Illini. Brian Boesch joining us here, voice of the Wolverines over on the radio side of things. Brian, last time we had spoke, we were talking about whether or not Michigan was beatable or not. I think it was still 2025, so a lot has happened since then, and I think the Duke game proved one thing, and it is that this team was a little bit beatable. The number one reason I would say Michigan fans should, not be concerned, but if there's going to be a reason that a team knocks them out of the tournament at any point, and we'll get to the preview of this game tonight here in a second, but I just wanted to start out with this. To me, the number one concern or the number one thing to look at and be like, uh-oh, that could be problematic, is if Ademar gets into foul trouble. Because that game against Duke, as soon as he picked up that second one, it completely changed the rest of the game. They don't run another center. Merez and Yaxel can get by just fine as the front court, but they lose their superpower, which is their size. If you're Dusty May, what's the game plan to try to keep Ademar out of foul trouble the rest of the season? Because I feel like a lot of teams are going to start going right at him, attempting to get him into foul trouble and just change the game.
Yeah, first off, Ben, thanks for having me on. I think it's obviously a unique challenge. Where Michigan, I think, benefits is that they have the ability in the first 20 minutes to be flexible with their lineups and not have to necessarily go with what has really turned into their closing lineup, which is Elliot Cadeau and Trey McKinney in the backcourt and then the big three up front. The challenge of that Duke game was not just that Ademar got 3 fouls in the first half, but that Morris Johnson Jr. got 2, and it wasn't late in the first half. And I think as much as this coaching staff likes and trusts Mara down the stretch, I think they require having Morez out there for as much of the second half as possible. So when you have both those guys out, Michigan had to play some unique lineups. Now, Duke won that game fair and square. I know some people complain about some of the officiating. Of course, you have some issues with some calls here and there, but Duke played better. They were better defensively. They were better rebounding, and they won it. Now, where Michigan can learn from that is how do they get a little bit more, I don't know if the word is protective, but they have to be a little bit more cognizant of it. But largely, this staff trusts these guys to go out there to play, just don't go play ball. And it didn't quite work out against one of the best teams in the country, maybe the best team in the country. So they'll make their adjustments. And, I think what's been really unique is that they've played and will play again tonight some different teams, different styles. This is as well prepared of a team that I can remember that go into the NCAA tournament will have seen a ton of different lineups, defenses, opponents, situations. And obviously that Duke one was one of the few where they just didn't quite have enough to get it done.
Yeah, I feel like if they play Duke 10 times, it maybe is 5-5. I didn't think it was like one-sided way towards Duke or one-sided towards Michigan. And it was a very even matchup. And this matchup tonight, I think, is just as fascinating because you got Michigan, who I mentioned, like their superpowers, their size. And Illinois is one of those few teams that actually has maybe even a bigger lineup when you take into consideration just point guard to center, everybody. And this team's huge. Is there a team in prepping for these games that you have found to be, with the exception of Duke, let's just do Big Ten here, has there been a team that you've been like, okay, this team actually does match up pretty well with Michigan, more so than Illinois so far this year?
Yeah, I think this one from a offense of the opponent versus Michigan's defense always stood out. And I mean, let's face it, last year Michigan hosted these guys still in the Big Ten hunt, trying to set up, potentially a winner take all against Michigan State. And Illinois just blitzed them in the second half. It was a good game for the first half, and then the second half was as dominant of a performance that Michigan endured against them last season. So yeah, there isn't a lot of comparison to this team because they have all this size, and you couple that with and I know Brad Underwood's a little bit protective of this, and he had a few comments about how, hey, we found this guy. It didn't just happen. But the Keaton Wagler stuff is found money for this team. You can believe that a 3-star, borderline 4-star, sub 150 recruit can be a good player for you. Michigan's been able to get some of those guys, but to go from that to being right now a top 5 national player of the year contender, that's what's really unlocked this team and made them so unique. But yeah, this for me, in terms of just one unit against Michigan, this offense for Illinois is probably the most concerning, most challenging unit matchup for Michigan. Duke as a team was more concerning. But Illinois has some struggles defensively. This could be a really high-scoring game tonight if both offenses are humming. But I mean, this is the top offense, I think, in the history of KenPom, which goes back 30 years. Like, they are that good, and they're playing at home, and they're going to have reason to be extra juiced up with Morez Johnson Jr.'s return after. I mean, Rez committed to Illinois as a sophomore. I mean, this wasn't a late in the game thing. I mean, he's from the state. He was committed for 3 years. Obviously couldn't sign, but he verbalized it in November of his sophomore season. So they're going to be feisty. They're going to be loud. But Michigan's endured those types of things and come out the other end pretty successfully. So, yeah, I mean, Illinois' offense, there's just so many guys, and they can do so many things. And it's going to be fun to watch. There's no doubt.
Well, my next question was going to be how much of a revenge factor is there with Morez Johnson going into this one? But you kind of answered that one. You're like, yeah, they 100% are going to be fired up. Have you spoke to him and know how much he's fired up to play this game?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, Rez speaks with his actions, and the goal is to get him on the pregame show. So hope folks can tune in. I think he'll have some friends and family here. He'll have some people right behind the bench, but Illinois does not like Michigan. That was maybe for me the biggest learning lesson in all of this. I about the obvious rivalries, but boy, folks in Champaign, they do not like the maize and blue.
Why is that?
You add I think a bunch of in basketball, in about 8 spots in their game notes, they have a disclaimer about the 2021 Big Ten championship, about the win percentage and 16-4 versus 14-3. Nowhere mentioned the COVID pandemic causing those things, but it is what it is. And I just think football wise, there's been some unique challenges. It's hostile. And listen, this is a great program. I got a lot of respect for Brad Underwood. But the fans are going to bring it. The student section's right on you. And they get as loud as anywhere in the Big Ten. This is going to be a hornet's nest. And you know what, though? If there's anybody who can handle it, I think it's Rez. He is this team's – I think he's their floor. I've been calling him this team's bouncer, right? And
Yes.
and this is going to be 1 a.m. on a Saturday night. Like, it's going to be loud. It's going to be hostile. How does he in that front line hold up?
I wanted to ask you, Brian, about the reaction to tying to or having the claim for the regular season title on Tuesday. What was the reaction from the team after that? Was there a big celebration, or was it kind of just this is business as usual? We got more to take care of going forward.
Non-existent. They didn't play that well, and that was somewhat a byproduct of Minnesota playing a funky game because they had to. They only had 6 scholarship guys healthy. I thought it was one of the better coaching jobs against Michigan all season. They played zone. They dragged out possessions. They played their starters the entire second half. I was joking with a few staff members before the game, like, no one feels sorry for anybody in college basketball, but if anyone is going to be felt sorry for first, it's Minnesota. I mean, they've really had tough injury luck. A few guys, basically whenever someone was asked, right, by me or somebody else in the media, yeah, we're honored, but Dusty put it best. No one in that locker room wants to share anything. And when you have a league like this, where you have 18 teams, and you are sitting there with a chance to potentially win this thing by as many as 4 games, it'll likely be 3, but you have a chance to win this thing by 4 games over 17 other teams. You want to talk about remove all doubt? Now, we all know single elimination in the NCAA tournament, that's a different deal. And I still think that for this team to be truly appreciated, they have to at least reach the Final Four. And probably for many fans, because of how good this season has been, they probably have to win on Monday night in Indianapolis. Let's be honest. There's super high expectations. But if they win this thing by 3, maybe 4 games, if they go 19-1 in a Big Ten that stretches across the country, that will potentially stand the test of time as one of the best performances in one of the best leagues, in a league where that regular season championship matters in this league. It matters to Michigan fans, to fans of other teams in this league. It doesn't replace what could happen in April, no question. But I think the opportunity to just basically run this thing, that's where this team really stands out. If they win tonight, I'll be really curious how Thursday looks at Iowa, because Iowa needs a marquee signature win. The closest thing they've got is home against Nebraska. But for this one, they're dialed in. This was modest celebration would be overselling it to the nth degree.
Brian Boesch, voice of the Wolverines on the radio side, here with us right now. You mentioned earlier that closing lineup that they usually go to in Cadeau and McKinney. I'm not going to lie, in the Duke game, I thought it was kind of crazy that Cadeau was still out there towards the end, just with how he had played. I've gone back and forth. I don't think there needs to be a starting lineup change, but I think I wouldn't be shocked if Dusty, or I guess maybe that's not the right words, but I feel like there should be a little bit more malleability with the closing lineup depending on how people are playing throughout the game, because Cadeau's just not having a good game, and I think it cost him there at the end, him being out there. Is there a chance that Dusty ever gets away from that and it's like, hey, here comes Kaysen? Because that's what a lot of fans are clamoring for right now.
He did at Northwestern, if you remember. That was LJ playing the last 15 minutes. Elliott did not come back out on the floor. And I think, Dusty alluded to the fact after that Duke game that, they might have wanted to do a few things differently. And I don't think they would have done what they did in Evanston by just closing with LJ unless, he just played out of this world and was taken over. But yeah, I do think that there probably was a little bit of wonder because LJ played pretty well in the first half. He gave Michigan a jolt when they needed one, when they were getting creative with the lineups, with 3 fouls on Mara, 2 fouls on Rez. So yeah, I do think that'll be a learning lesson. And the reality is I think Michigan has been malleable, maybe at times to a fault, with their rotation in a lot of cases. But I do think they know that trio inside, Yax, Adai, and Morez, they need to be out there in closing time because Yax is the best player. Morez is the floor player, the guy who can do stuff without anything run for him. And I think when Mara's on the floor, Michigan's offense is at its best. What he can do, what he opens up, his court vision, if he's playing within himself, I think he raises the ceiling of this offense maybe as much, if not more, than Yax. Like, he's that good offensively. I think there will be some more fluidity to the lineups because there have been times this season where they've used Roddy Gale Jr. as a defensive stopper and then brought in Trey or Namari as an offensive guy. If you're getting into that ping pong last 2-3 minutes of a game and there's a lot of stoppages, reviews, inbounds, all of that stuff. So yeah, Dusty hasn't said it, but I get the vibe that I think they wish they would have stuck a little bit more to that willingness to ebb and flow with the rotation a little bit against Duke. And that's one of the many reasons why that game will help them, even though, don't get me wrong, that game hurt. Like, those guys wanted to win that game. Because you win that, you have a chance to do what they've talked about, it being one of the best teams ever. Now, if you play Duke in the title game and you win, yeah, you're champs, and that's great. Like, I'm not saying that's awesome. Sign me up. But this team wants everything. They're very greedy. And that's one that they'll always have, is saying, we didn't quite get that done. And we'll see how they respond in their first true test since then.
I'm just kind of amazed at the LJ Kaysen development, even since November. He just looks like a completely different player when he's out there. Totally, like, 10 times more confidence than he had earlier this year or even last year. That's been great to watch as well. So 2 more things. I got to ask you about this because there's been a lot of talk about Yaxel Lendeberg the last week or so. And no one has any doubts about what this guy can do on the floor because he's played his best basketball in the biggest games of the season. He was incredible against Duke in the first half, rock star against Michigan State as well. Played nice against, just every time they've needed him to step up, it felt like he has. And then that clip goes around afterwards against the Duke game, and people start dragging his name through the mud. Give us a story about Yaxel Lendeberg that might help us get an insight to his personality.
So Yax is fascinating. He's incredibly honest, and I think that's 95% of the time really, really good for this team, and 5% of the time it's probably not great. The press conference after the Duke game where he didn't answer the question about Cam Boozer, that's not malicious. I truly think it's just immaturity of a guy who he didn't go through AAU. He wasn't playing high school basketball for a long time. Like, his first 3 college seasons were at Arizona Western. I'm normally of the belief in almost every case that if you have a chance to go be a first-round pick in the NBA, you kind of have to do it. Mm-hmm. I hear that question a lot about what's Adai going to do, what's Rez going to do, insert other player for Michigan. If you're being told you're going to be a first-round pick, I don't know about you guys. I've never turned down $10 million, right? Like that's not a thing I've done.
I've never been presented $10 million.
Yeah, no, me neither. Yeah, me either. I barely presented $10, but hey, it's the cross we bear. But it's disingenuous for me to sit here and go, no, you need to come back for another year of college basketball just because it serves me as a fan of the team. I will say Yaks needed this year. Because he needed to understand what the spotlight was like, what the pressure cooker was like, and I think in many cases he has passed with flying colors. He's done a lot of good things. I give social media messaging props to whoever held that Yaks video for 9 months before the Purdue game. That's incredible patience with something. Obviously, big mistake by Yaks, right? Like he did not realize. I know he didn't realize at that point that he was always on, right? LJ had a quote after the Tuesday game that I thought was really interesting about Yaks. He said he probably just wasn't there mentally. Later saying it's a big opponent, Illinois, and he'll show why he's Yaxel. I do think there are some ebbs and flows. I do think there's some NBA, I've termed it as NBA malaise. I think overall with the team at times, but certainly with Yaks, where he dials up for the big games. He was as locked in and as effective in the first half against Duke as I've seen him all season long. And this team can afford that fluidity. It can afford Yaks not being there, and he was not there on Tuesday night. There was some frustration, and Yaks was frustrated. But he'll be there tonight. Now, this will be a matter of execution, of what success can he have. I'm fascinated what Michigan does with him defensively today because of all the size. We saw him lock down both Braden Smith and Trey Kaufman-Renn at times at Purdue when Michigan won there. How do they do this with the bigger lineup than Duke, where I thought a lot of that size on the perimeter made a big impact? Michigan's guards very rarely rebounded in that game. Duke got to a lot of 50-50 balls. Yaks in these types of spots has to be able to be positionally different. He can play some guard. He can play some wing. He's going to have to gobble up some rebounds. But yeah, he's learning in all of this, and I think the team has understood that. And has he made some mistakes? Of course. But he is that guy that lifted this team from Big Ten contender to chance to win the league by 3 games, one of the best teams in the country, chance to win the national championship. And it's you hear the word used a lot, baggage. This isn't baggage. This is just immaturity at times. But this team loves him. This team embraces him. And I'll be really curious to see how he comes out, because there's now a chance to help a teammate in Rez come up with, I don't want to call it a revenge game, but a game that means a lot to him. Just like Adai with UCLA, just like Roddy with Ohio State, on and on. So we'll see. We'll see if LJ's right. He shows why he's Yaxel.
Brian Boesch, last thing I got for you: are you or Michigan, the team, aware of the Nasty Nine nickname that's going around? Because 2026, there's not a lot of good nicknames in sports these days, whether it's teams or players. We've lost the art of creating nicknames, and I'm trying to bring it back. The Nasty Nine. You guys aware of this?
Is that for the 9-man rotation? I've never heard it before.
Yes.
Okay.
I think one of our listeners came up with it and sent it in, and I just have been calling them that ever since. The Nasty.
Okay.
We need more
He's
nicknames.
trying to get something to catch on, you know?
I'm trying my
best. Like this team, I don't know if the team is all around nasty enough. When you've got in the same area, you've got the bad boys of the Pistons back in the 80s and 90s. Like, I don't know. Namari Burnett and Will Cheddar, those dudes are too nice to be nasty. Like, I mean, the reality is, Ben, like last year, Area 51 was an all-timer of a nickname.
You're right.
Like,
that was
was great. All right, I'll fish out for any. The only nickname that I like, I don't think it's all that creative, but it's just funny, is that guys call Adai Big Goof. It's from, I think, Parks and Rec. I haven't seen the show. Dusty told us a couple weeks ago. So I just like Big Goof because it just sounds funny. Like, there's no real, like, Area 51 was good. Genius. That was genius. So, hey, you know what? Maybe we've dipped on our nicknames, but they've gotten better on the court. So I think we'll take that trade.
Brian Boesch, where can people listen to the game tonight?
Yeah, we're all along the radio network, Michigan Sports Network from Learfield, Varsity Network app, Michigan Athletics app. We take the air at 7:30 Eastern. Hope you can bring Terry, Mills, and me along with you if you're driving around, if you're portable. We'll be dialed in. Can't wait for it.
Appreciate you jumping here on the show with us. Always good catching up.
All right, fellas. Be well.
You as well. All right. You heard it from him. Game tonight at 8 o'clock against Illinois, big-time matchup for the Wolverines. More on the Lions offseason manifesto when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Thanks to Brian one more time for coming on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little preview of the Illinois game tonight and some good old Michigan basketball talk in general because, hey, they are a top 3 team after all. See the difference at Midland Eye Care, where your vision is their focus, offering comprehensive eye exams, glasses, and contacts, and advanced eye health services. Friendly, knowledgeable staff and a wide selection of stylish frames for every face and budget. Book your appointment today and start seeing clearer tomorrow.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Lions offseason manifesto starts with fixing the offensive line. That's no different, but the adjustments I've made since our V1, our version 1, I crossed off drafting Francis Mauigoa, Spencer Fanu, Caleb Lomu. Drafting an offensive tackle just seems unlikely now that Taylor Decker's coming back. I also had to cross off cutting Taylor Decker because that just doesn't really seem likely. But they can still cut Graham Glasgow, free up about $5.5 million. Where we've shifted is I'm taking Iona Vega, the interior guy, at 17, and signing Connor McGovern still on the table as well for fixing the offensive line, which is still the number one priority. But the number two priority in my offseason manifesto is now retooling, rebuilding the secondary. It starts by I need Amik Robertson re-signed, give him a 2-year, $9 million contract. It's basically the same contract he had. Poor play down the stretch of last season, kind of saving the Lions from being able to get him again. I'd prepare for him to be the starting outside corner. Him and Rockison can dial it up out there. Do I feel great about that? No. What's the alternative, though? It's not like they're going to go drop a bag in free agency on another corner. They already did that with DJ Reed last year. And again, like the Terrion Arnold story, this is part of the reason we're doing the offseason manifesto. I'm just now preparing for life without him because of how insane that story was.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best way to put it, right? You have to at least prepare for all outcomes with whatever's going to happen with Terrion Arnold. And also, like, this doesn't change a ton of things because it's not like Terrion Arnold was this for sure locked piece of the future of the Lions, right? Like this.
But he was a starting corner.
Sure, I agreed. A starting corner on a team that like doesn't have like that's one of their weakest groups too. And so, but think about what we were talking about yesterday. Like this is a make or break year coming up for Terrion Arnold. We did this 24 hours ago.
I know, really weird timing.
Yeah, and then in the timing of that. Boom, now it's like, is he even going to be, like, I have no idea what's going to happen with Terrion Arnold. And so I think planning for life without him already was maybe something that was in the back of the mind of Brad Holmes and the Lions, but clearly there was much other positions that they had to prioritize. Like we even discussed yesterday, cornerback is probably the one defensive position I would be a little bit surprised if they use one of the early picks on. Well, now it's like, I have no idea now. Now I'm probably not going to be surprised.
Now, I mean, the reason I took Scott in the mock draft. He's not like a traditional outside guy. He's a nickel corner safety. Like I think that could be someone who could help the Lions room in general. But yeah, man, like the secondary is now something that the Lions really have to focus on for the 5th year in a row. And like, yeah, you mentioned Terrion's not like this key part of the Lions defense going forward. But the bigger issue is it's not someone you had to think about necessarily replacing this offseason. And now it's like, that spot might just not exist. There might just be an open spot on the roster. And you know, this is we're jumping from point A to point D with this Terrion Arnold story, but like, man, when in the first paragraph of a story is kidnapping and robbery, those are the two words that are being thrown around as to a thing that happened that 5 arrests were made, and Terrion Arnold's kind of, I don't want to call him the centerpiece, but all these people are connected to him.
He's the big name of it all. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason there was a full news piece put out about this.
And it's his home, and he's the place that's getting robbed, and he's the guy that hired the private driver, and they thought that the private driver was robbing him, and then he gets It doesn't look good for Terrion Arnold right now. There's a chance that because he never showed up to the location of where the kidnapping and robbery and holding the people at gunpoint happened, that there's nothing to actually arrest him for or charge him for or anything like that. So maybe he just gets off the hook clean, but this is kind of one of those situations where it's like, I mean, we know you got off clean, but something's not right about what happened. Something's fishy. Why do you have $100,000 in cash, an extra phone just laying around in this place, Louis Gucci bags or whatever they were? What was it, jewelry too? It's just like, I don't know, man. This kind of seems like a movie. Like, this seems like a crime movie.
It does seem like a crime. And maybe this is the Heat too. Like, this is the plot line of it, you know?
This is
Christian
how it starts.
Bale is Terrion Arnold. No, I do want to ask you, though, because you mentioned about the Amik Robertson stuff. Like, where is that now at the priority list for the Lions offseason as far as, like, bringing him back? Is that the number one new priority?
Section A, subsection There's Section 2, subsection A. Like, yeah, I think rebuilding the secondary has skyrocketed up the list, or retooling it.
But is it number one?
It's number one among that group. That's the way I have the manifesto laid out. I have different portions. The second priority is rebuilding the secondary, and the first priority in that is re-signing Amik Robertson.
Yeah.
And does that, like, make me feel amazing? No. We don't even, like, not necessarily, but it's not like they're going to go drop a bag in free agency. Like this might be a position that they just end up being like, this is the best we got, unfortunately.
Well, I think there's other needs that need to be addressed in free agency. That's the issue. So if you can address your cornerback needs with bringing back Robertson, and then you just kind of cross your fingers with this Terrion Arnold stuff, because the last time we did the manifesto, we didn't know Taylor Decker was returning, and we, of course, didn't know that Terrion Arnold was going to be involved with some situation, if we're calling it that. Like
kidnapping and robbery. Let's call it
that
exactly
type of
what
situation.
it is.
Oh, it's one of those. Okay, yeah. So obviously things have changed where it's like, rebuilding the offensive line still feels like the most important thing for the Lions, but they've already kind of taken a step towards doing that with Decker returning, right?
Yeah.
Like, as much as we can say we like it or not, it's still something that is going in that direction of helping rebuild the offensive line.
Yeah, they could still cut him technically, but I can't envision it.
No way. I feel like we would have some sort of inkling about that. It'd
be sick if they did, but I'll retool the manifesto with the idea that he's going to be the starting left tackle.
Sure, I like that.
And if that's going to be the case, then honestly, Kyle, like, re-signing Amik Robertson is the number one guy I think that they still have to re-sign over Anzalone at this point. If the Terrion Arnold thing's just going to loom over the offseason, which, again, like, until this court case is closed or until he steps onto the field during training camp, I'm just preparing for worst-case scenario, doomsday. And if that's the case, Amik Robertson surpasses Alex Anzalone is the number one guy they got to re-sign, right?
Over, like, Al-Qadim Muhammad, too? Like, just from a re-signing standpoint, not free agency, draft, anything. Guys that are free agents for the Lions, number one.
I would have Amik Robertson over him as well, because at least, like, you can talk yourself into, well, Josh Pascal and Levi Unzarike are going to be back, and you can play that whole song and dance in your head. But
the
like
injured guys.
But I mean, if Amik's gone, and Terrion, like, let's say worst case scenario, nightmare happens, what's going on there? What's going on across from DJ Reader on the other side as the starting outside corner? Rock Ya-Sin?
Woo!
Yeah, it's scary to say the least.
Ennis Rakestraw still exists too.
Oh, what are we talking about? Yeah, we forgot to mention Ennis Rakestraw still here. We don't need to draft a corner or sign a corner. We got Ennis Rakestraw.
Most of you guys don't know really much about anything.
989-837-6125. I'll be honest, I don't really know anything about technology. That's why I trust Link Technology in Midland. They handle the complicated stuff. I'm talking about IT support, cybersecurity, cloud solutions, networking, so you don't have to stress about it. Whatever your business needs, their team knows exactly what to do and how to do it. They make it easy to understand along the way as well. Link Technology, the experts who keep your business running smoothly so you can focus on what you do best.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and... Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back in. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. And it's that time of the day. We're going to take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 10 quarterbacks that are available either on the market, in free agency, or on the trade block. And I have them ranked. And I'd like to draft them if that's okay with you, because it's a Friday. Why
Okay.
not? Let's do a draft.
Why not?
Who's the number one guy that's available right now? You can have the first pick. I'll be nice.
Well, you only have 10 guys, so like, do I get to know the pool of players we're choosing from?
No,
Or
any guy. I have a big board of 10.
okay, so I can't just make somebody up and be like, what if the Bengals wanted to trade Joe Burrow?
No,
You know? Okay.
no. They've got to like legitimately be available
Okay.
to be moved.
I think I have a hot take here. I think Kyler Murray's the best guy, but I'm taking everything into consideration here, which includes the contract number. I think Mac Jones is the best available guy. I think he's number one. I think he's the best guy that a team that just needs some sort of, whether it's a bridge quarterback or just someone who they think could be their quarterback for the next 3 or so years. I think Mac Jones is the number one guy.
I don't think that's a hot take at all, because he's my number 2 behind Kyler Murray. We both had him pretty high on the list.
And Kyler Murray, I'm only not taking him because of the contract situation. Like, there's a world where you trade, because you're also giving up more capital probably to acquire Kyler Murray than you are with Mac Jones.
Yeah.
And then you're taking on his deal where if he isn't good for you, oh man, like this did not work out. Whereas if Mac Jones doesn't work out for you, okay, he's a free agent in the offseason, you let him walk.
Yeah, I had Kyler number 1, so I'll take him with my next pick. But I'm with you on all the Mac Jones stuff. He was great when he played for San Fran this year. And it feels like that's just the route, right? Sit behind either Shanahan, McVay, and this is the backup, and then go somewhere else or ball out. If I'm Minnesota, I'm all over trying to get Mac Jones in the building.
Yeah, I like I said, that's the guy I want the most. And even if you're like Atlanta, if you're any of these teams that it's just like you need a quarterback, Mac Jones is the number one guy I'm going after for the price that you're paying for his contract and to trade for him.
You have the next pick,
Right.
sir.
This is where we get a little bit tough because outside of these top 2, how many guys on this list that we're going to take are going to be starters? Not a ton, right? Right? Like
I
for
don't know.
sure starters?
I don't know, Kyle. I don't know, Jim.
To me, I would rather almost take the veteran guy that like is supposed to be there to compete with another guy than to do the Malik Willis thing. Like that's just me. I personally do not see it at all with Malik Willis. I've just been so out on this for quite
He was
some time.
great when he filled in.
Was he? Or
Yes.
was he just slightly better than Jordan Love, who's overrated? And people were like, "Oh,
Both.
Malik Willis, like, oh, you know."
I think it's both.
Was he playing quarterback in a Matt LaFleur offense that makes Jordan Love look good? You know, like that's kind of what I was thinking when I saw Malik Willis play. I think of the Tennessee version of him more often than not. I got a really bad one for you, man. Really bad one.
This is who your second pick is going to be?
This is my second pick. Is you're going to hate this. But if I'm a team that has a young quarterback that I need to bring somebody in to be the vet QB with him, I'm taking Geno Smith.
Oh, my God. He wasn't even on my big board.
I told you, you're
wait,
going to
are
hate
you
it.
aware that he threw like 20 interceptions
If I'm the
last year?
Minnesota,
You know that, right?
if I'm the Minnesota Vikings, outside of Mac Jones, Geno Smith is the number one guy I'd want to bring in.
Oh, come on.
Number one guy.
No, I have many more guys
Okay,
I'd rather bring in.
Name them off for me.
No, because then I'd spoil my big board.
You're right, but as far as when I'm just thinking about this for Minnesota, I guess, so maybe I should think about it not just for Minnesota, but like I'm not bringing in Aaron Rodgers because you can't bench Aaron Rodgers. I'm not bringing in Kirk Cousins because he has way too much of an attachment to that team that we're like, you can't bench him either if he's starting to play over J.J. McCarthy. Geno Smith, you can throw him on the bench whenever you want.
That's fair. He's also just not as good as the other two guys you just said. And why, if you're bringing a guy in, why are you bringing him in to bench him?
Because you have J.J. McCarthy as your quarterback. Like, ideally,
I
that
don't
guy's
know.
still your QB.
Yeah, I think I've just given up on that. I'll take
Sure.
Malik Willis with my second pick. I think he can be I think he will be a starter somewhere, whether that's Atlanta or the Jets. I think he's going to find himself as the starting quarterback week 1 next year. That's just the way it's going to work out. So you're up next.
I'm just out on Malik Willis, man. I don't see it, man. I do not think he's going to be a good quarterback. We're not taking rookies here.
Nope.
Of course. So is there anyone else that's going to be available that I'm like, maybe this guy could be like, is he sneaky available? I don't really think so. Are we counting Daniel Jones? Can we just not count? I'm cool with not counting him because why would he not just re-sign with Indianapolis? So
I got so many guys on my big board, Kyle.
I have my next guy, and you might not like it again. I'm going back-to-back former Raiders quarterbacks here. Derek Carr, I think, is the next guy. He's better than Kirk Cousins.
I don't think so.
He's better than Kirk Cousins.
Derek
right
Carr
now, for sure.
stunk when he was still playing.
Kirk Cousins was paid $1,000 million and was benched halfway through the season.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, and he's gotten way worse since then.
What? The Falcons couldn't lose a game down the stretch of last season. He was playing good.
Dude, Kirk Cousins sucks.
What are you talking about?
I love Kirk Cousins. You watch that guy play, dude, and you feel like bad for him.
What are you doing? Are we watching the same games?
Dude, have you watched Kirk Cousins try to move in the Big 2-5? I mean, he can't even move.
Jared Goff can't move. Matthew Stafford can't move, and he just won an MVP. I'm not trying to look, dude.
I'm out on Kirk Cousins right now.
Okay. Last year, as the starter, he started the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He started the last 7 games. They went 5-2. He completed 72% of his passes through 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's a great touchdown-interception ratio. Just a 2-to-1.
He went 5-2.
Yeah, and they did a lot with that, right? They got in the playoffs probably?
No, they didn't get in the playoffs because they stunk the first half of the season.
Wait, but their division had to have been really good then if they didn't make the playoffs.
What is this anti-Kirk Cousins bit?
You think he's, like, still good?
I think he's
Then why is he not picked
better
already?
Than Derek
why
Carr,
didn't you pick him already?
Because I have 2 more guys ahead of him.
I mean, if you're so high on Kirk Cousins and you took freaking Malik Willis over him.
Because he's got more upside. I think it's crazy to have Derek Carr, who didn't play last season, ahead of Kirk Cousins.
No, I'm taking Derek Carr.
I'll take Aaron Rodgers.
And still it doesn't take Kirk Cousins here. I mean, like, what you're pushing this agenda for Kirk Cousins, and he's still on the board.
You said he
You
sucks.
clearly aren't confident in him either.
He's still on my board. I'll take Aaron Rodgers. Who's your next guy?
See, I just don't think Rodgers is available. That's just me, though. I just think he's Pittsburgh or not, you know? Maybe if I thought so, I would have taken him over Derek Carr, but I mean, who else is even available? You have Kirk Cousins, you have Joe Flacco, who's probably still around.
Didn't even make my list.
Who else is on your list?
Dude, I can't give you my big board.
But I don't want to take Kirk Cousins, and now it's just like, then who am I drafting?
There's plenty more.
Tanner McKee is a guy that people like for some reason.
Tyson Bagent, people have been calling about him too.
Tyson Bagent, that's right. Yeah, I'll take Drew Lock. I'll take
Anthony Richardson.
Ooh, I forgot about him. No, that's a good one.
Someone's going to convince themselves that they can fix Anthony Richardson.
What if it's the Lions?
Oh, my God.
I already saw somebody say that Lions should trade for Anthony Richardson.
He's a Jet. It's written all over.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think he goes somewhere where there's like a much better quarterback in front of him where he can sit behind for like 2 years. There was that rumor about Richardson to the Rams last offseason.
Yeah.
I could so see that again. Okay, fine. I'll take Kirk Cousins. Fine.
You already took Derek Carr, so I'll take Tua.
I just forgot about Tua. I mean, that's how bad I think he is. I think Kirk Cousins is better than Tua, I guess. So I'll give you that one. All right, I have no more picks. I forfeit.
Okay, I'll take Andy Dalton. And then I'll take Zach Wilson.
Thank God you included those guys.
I know. All right, that's it. Around the League, as always, is presented by Aired Insurance. They understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for your needs, whether it's life, home, auto, fiscal insurance is all available with the Aired Insurance Group with Farm Bureau Insurance.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mid. Worth a mention if you missed the first 5 minutes of the show. Aaron Glenn fell asleep at the combine yesterday. I can't blame him. It's the most boring nonsense to watch on TV. I used to love it for some reason, but I think we've become smarter as a football community to know that how fast these guys run doesn't matter at all. How much do I care about how fast the dude runs the 40-yard dash in his underwear? 1 out of 10. 0 out of 10, honestly. -3 out of 10. I straight up don't care. It's a really bad look for Aaron Glenn and the Jets that he fell asleep, of course, but I don't blame him. It's boring. You're watching the same thing over and over again, and at the end of the day, you can just look at an Excel sheet at the end and see everybody's time. It is basically useless. I think the point of the combine now is just to learn and meet with the players, hear about them a little bit, get them in front of a microphone, see the maturity levels. The teams get to meet with them as well. But when it comes to the on-the-field stuff, yeah, it's nice to be able to see a guy swivel his hips and drop back into coverage. I don't care how fast they run their 40s. So, yeah, not really blaming Aaron Glenn for falling asleep, but albeit nonetheless a really bad look for that New York Jets organization.
I think it's so funny.
I think it's hilarious.
It's so funny. You said you used to be into the combine.
I used to love that stuff.
Why is that? I've never been into the combine ever.
I like it now for different reasons. That's what I just alluded to. I like all the reporters being able to ask these guys questions.
Yeah, it's
to
best
find
for
out
media.
More.
True.
100%. I get to hear from Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. That stuff's great. But the actual on the field stuff, whatever, man. I don't. The 40 specifically. Why do we put so much stock into the 40-yard dash? Haven't we learned that it doesn't really translate?
What's worse, the combine or the pro days?
Oh, the pro days.
The pro days are so much worse.
The quarterback pro
Zach
days
Wilson
are the worst.
was down on one knee and he threw the ball 80 yards to an open receiver with no pads and helmets on.
Yeah, when will he ever have to do that in the NFL? Never.
When will you ever have to do a 40-yard dash in under 4.5 seconds in the NFL?
It just doesn't exist.
Without pads on.
Or running into anybody. You'll never have to run in a straight line like that.
The only guy, like Jamison Williams after a breakaway run, Gibbs, I guess, sure.
Yeah, but
you're also having gear on when you're doing it. I've never understood the combine. It's just a thing that people overreact to. And I think the true, you ask a lot of these, when you hear GMs and just people in the front office, scouts or whatever, go on podcasts, they always talk about, the combine is just, like you said, it's just a way to get to know the guys personally. Mm-hmm. It's get to know who they are as guys.
Which is valuable.
Yeah, of course it is. It's extremely valuable. What's not valuable is how quick I can do the shuttle run. How quickly I can go side to side and pick up a cone and set it back down. Oh, that's so important in the NFL. Whatever.
I think sometimes with the corners, being able to see how fluid their hips are, there's some little stuff you can pick up, but isn't that kind of just an eyeball test?
Wait, his arms are 0.75 inches too short. We can't draft him.
No, the number one reason I think I'm just anti-combine is Anthony Richardson had quite literally the greatest combine of all time for a quarterback and just sucked. It doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. Highest vert ever, longest long jump, just a beast of a human. It doesn't matter. Got to be able to play football. The combine is not football. 989-837-6125. I hope you enjoyed your nap, Aaron Glenn. We'll be back with more Lions Offseason Manifesto and a mock draft when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Isaiah, let's play some word association.
I'm ready.
Spring.
Repairs.
Wind.
Rough.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We are live on 100.9 The Mitt, YouTube as well. Hit that like and subscribe button if you have not already. Lions Offseason Manifesto. We're going over the rules. We've been doing it the whole show. I think fix the offensive line, rebuild the secondary, free up the salary cap, add a safety both on and off the field, retool the tight end room, all things that are included in this. If I look over to the mock draft, we got to start here. If we're going to do a mock draft, it has to be discussed, and this won't be the last time we discuss it. I would just rather have 2 third-round picks like we were supposed to have this year, one for being the Lions and one for getting Aaron Glenn a head coaching job. I'd so much rather have that than Isaac TeSlaa, and I don't even think it's really close, to be quite honest.
Despite him having like a pretty good rookie season, right? Like I think as we
got a fine rookie season.
I think as we got more and more throughout the season, though, we were like, oh yeah, like look at all these other rookie receivers outside of the DK dude from Tennessee. Like none of the late round receivers were good, and then TeSlaa was at least this red zone guy that scored touchdowns.
Yeah, he was better than Matthew Golden.
Ooh.
He was. 6 touchdowns this year. He'll always have a role carved out for him in the NFL with the threat he is. He had 16 receptions. And he really came along when Sam Laporta was out. Like that's when he became a much more involved player in the Lions offense. I think when Laporta comes back, he might get forgotten about in a little bit of a way. Which makes me just like, with all the needs that the Lions have, whether it's edge, linebacker, safety, maybe another corner with this Terrion Arnold situation, I would just rather have the 2 third-round picks, because then in the first 3 rounds of the draft, you can attack offensive line, you can attack safety, you can attack corner, you can attack defensive. Now you have 2 picks in the first. You cut your picks in half. You were supposed to have 4 picks in the top. What is it? 100 and something picks. You're supposed to have 4 of them, and now you have just 2. That to me is not worth Isaac TeSlaa at all. I'm sorry, it's just not. He's a good player. It's nothing against him. If they were to have just picked him at 102 last year, like they were supposed to have that pick, then I think we'd all love Isaac TeSlaa. But they got so aggressive, they traded up in the 3rd round to do it, and traded away both of this year's 3rd round picks to be able to do it as well. Extremely frustrating situation that the Lions have found themselves in. I don't even know what the debate really is to keep Isaac TeSlaa. Like, oh yeah, he's this valuable piece to the offense. No, he's not. He's the 5th option. There's Gibbs in the receiving game. There's Amon-Ra. There's J-Mo. There's Laporta. And then there's TeSlaa. And he's got a unique role carved out for him, a unique skill set. But at the end of the day, I'd rather just have 2 third-round picks this year.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Especially just like a year ago, I was one of the guys that wasn't super critical of the TeSlaa pick. I know everybody was like, oh, what are we doing? It's this guy who didn't do this just because he's from Michigan, blah, blah, blah. I still think that like a year ago, it still made some sense, and there was a lot of hype about him because you get rid of Tim Patrick and everything. With the amount of needs that the Lions have going into this offseason compared to last, whereas, I mean, it ended up being that they had a lot more needs than we thought, but at least we can recognize those needs now this offseason. Having those middle round picks is just, it's crucial. And that's what, like, I haven't ruled out a Lions trade down in the first round.
I wouldn't hate that.
Right? Acquire a couple more picks. You move from 17 to like the mid-20s or something for a team that wants to move up for whatever that may be. Maybe Ty Simpson is in the middle of the first round, and a team is like, you know what, screw it, we're trading up to get him. If you can get some more mid-round picks, a third, an extra second, something like that in this draft, I think that might be something you have to explore, because even in Mel Kiper's recent mock, I know it's Mel Kiper, but like I'm just looking at it, you know.
Shout out Shadow.
Your guy from Penn State doesn't go till the middle 20s.
Yeah. It's just a perfect fit for the Lions.
Exactly, man. It's a perfect fit, and if you feel like you can get him a little bit later, and even if you don't feel like you can get him a little bit later, like I just think it might be the move.
It makes sense.
Someone has to be willing to trade up, of course. That's how this stuff works. We can't just say like, oh, the Lions need to trade down. But if the opportunity presents itself, like I think I might be, and that's not something they do. You know, they've been a trade up team. They did it with Jameer Gibbs. Well, yeah, they did it with the Gibbs thing, the one time. But still, like it feels like they're more aggressive than
Yeah.
what would be the opposite of aggressive,
Yeah,
passive.
they trade up to went and got Manu. They traded up and went and got Terrion Arnold. They traded up and went and got Tesla. They traded up and got JMO.
They drafted Hendon Hooker. That was aggressive in itself.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, they get he's
which is cool. Like I honestly like it. Like I do like that you have an aggressive GM that goes and gets the guys you want. Obviously,
but now it's coming back to hurt them because they
sure.
don't have the thirds.
And a lot of those guys that we traded up for to get, like we just said, not all of them have worked out. And if you're going to be aggressive to trade up for guys, you better hope they all work out.
Let's see what some people have to say about this. 989-837-6125. I think I'm going to get a little bit of pushback, to be honest. Someone says, I'd rather have Tesla's contract, trade JMO for a second and a third. Hell no, man.
You should have ended after trade JMO.
Hell no. I'm not trading JMO for anything less than a top 10 pick, and even then, like
top 10. I mean, that seems like a lot. I think
JMO
I think
went
he's worth the
pick
first
12.
though. I think he's worth the first. Like you think about a guy like him or Jalen Waddle, who has more trade value. JMO, yeah, I'm with you. But I was just comparing him to a guy that like actually might get traded this offseason.
I just said top 10 because like JMO went 12th, and
Sure.
he's lived up to that pick in every way.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not trading JMO. But you're right about the contract. Like, I also just don't think Tesla has the upside JMO has.
Not even close.
Not even a little. There's a reason he was a third-round pick. Keith says, give me he's a big-timer. Keep Tesla. I'd rather have him. Okay.
Can't argue with he's a big-timer,
Tesla says, all day you have to see his potential. Throw the ball anywhere near the kid and he catches it. Funny, I remember questioning him. I remember questioning like this after JMO's rookie season, and look where we are now.
I mean, that's fair.
We didn't have JMO's rookie season was like throw it down the garbage disposable. Nothing happened. He didn't play.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say though, like look where we are now. Like if you trust the process with Tesla and you think we can't judge how good of a career he's going to have off of 1 year.
It just concerns me that he's never open. And
that's fair.
And like, I'm not sitting here doing the I don't like Isaac Tesla on the team. I would just rather have the 2/3 with all the needs the Lions have, with cornerback maybe included as one of them as well. Shane said he's a Lions player that wants to be here, fits the culture with a very high upside. I'd rather just have Tesla. He fits the culture, that's for sure. Jawan says they moved too much up, or they moved too much to go get him. Feels like they could have gotten him at 102, which is where they were supposed to pick. I can't believe how much people are like, yes, Isaac, he's fine. He's a good player. With all this has less to do with him and more so to do with the Lions' lack of picks, is where I've landed on this. Someone said he has the ability to be the next Mike Evans. Simmer down.
How many years in a row did Mike Evans have 1,000 yards? Like a crap ton?
Isaac Tesla had 239 yards last year. Let's take a sip of the settled down juice on throwing around Mike Evans. But I see where you're coming from. The mock draft, I have the Lions taking Iona Vega in the first round, Penn State interior guy, sure thing at that interior spot in this year's draft. Taylor Decker right next to Iona Vega. Center comes from free agency. Tate Ratledge, Penei Sewell. Boom. Just like that. It's fixed. Second round pick 50, I have them taking Keontae Scott. If I would have done this mock draft 2 days ago, probably don't have them taking a nickel/safety here. Maybe I do. But the Terrion thing, it's just like, yeah, let's probably invest a little bit more into the secondary because there's a chance of losing another guy. And with the Kirby Joseph comments from Dan Campbell earlier this week where he was like, yeah, we'll see. Another reason I think they need to invest into the secondary a little bit more than we necessarily thought. Scott's one of these guys. Keontae Scott, remember this name. Keontae Scott's one of these guys. The scouting report closes with conviction, hits like a linebacker, great blitzer, brings physicality to the table. He's 6 foot, just under 200 pounds. He's a little older, 24 and a half. I don't really care about that. 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns allowed last season. Can play in that hybrid safety role that we've seen a lot of these NFL teams embrace, including Brian Branch. He's played mostly nickel when he was with Miami, but you could play him at safety and be one of these chess pieces on the board. Those would be my first 2 picks because I think there's a dire need to redo the safety room just as some Kirby Joseph insurance. And I would really, let's say best case scenario, Kirby Joseph is playing. I think it's totally content. I'm content having 3 safeties on the field at all times rather than 3 linebackers, just to kind of modernize the defense a little bit. Also, if Amik Robertson's going to be on the outside because Terrion Arnold is in jail, then we need a new nickel corner as well. I think Keontae Scott could be that person as well.
Was he Miami University or University of Miami?
University of Miami. Did I screw up?
No, I was mainly just wanting to make a joke about Miami, Ohio, with that whole.
Do you mean the undefeated basketball team?
Correct.
The lone one in the country.
That one. I will say too, like your point about, he's a little older on the 24-and-a-half-year-old side. I prefer that at this point.
Care.
Like I think I would rather have that. I think that nowadays, like with the way that the portal has worked and guys are getting 6 years just handed out to them, like I would just rather get a guy that's going to be on his rookie contract throughout his prime. And then once he's, he comes in at 24. Okay, when he's 28, he's going to be off this deal, and maybe he's not good anymore, and we will just let him go. Like
it'd be one thing if the Lions were in year 1 of their rebuild or year 2 of their rebuild. I'd like some younger guys, but
this whole
they don't need development.
This
they
whole
need guys
taking
to help.
a young guy, like I think we're going to see a flip flop of how it is in the NBA, where it's like, oh, this guy's over 19, he's old as dirt. Like I think it's going to be the opposite in the NFL, where it's like, wait, this guy's 20 years old. I don't know. Like I don't know if we want to risk the project play here. I'm going to take the 25-year-old.
Yeah.
That's just going to be good right away for us.
I don't think that'll happen in the NBA at the top of the draft ever.
Right.
Like you'll always want the 19, 18-year-old like Cooper Flagg, which I keep forgetting he reclassified, by the way.
He turned 19 at the end of the year last year. Crazy.
Like at the end of 2025.
Yes.
Just nuts. He should be a senior in college or a freshman in college right now. He reclassified. But anyway, you're right. I would rather have, especially for the Lions situation, just rather have an older guy.
Yeah,
like
I would just rather take an older guy.
Like Akeem Messidor's a guy I see mocked to the Lions a good amount. The Miami edge rusher, he's 25. Don't care. He's a guy who could come help right away.
Like, I would rather have him be 25 than 21. Straight up.
I'm with you.
It's just it's weird how it works nowadays, but like
there'd be less of a physical adjustment.
Yeah.
When you step on an NFL field.
And then like you just straight up don't have to worry about the second contract. Oh, he's 29 at the end of this? We'll let him walk. He's getting old.
Yeah, bye.
We get him on a rookie deal during his prime? Like, I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah. I think it's a totally new way of thinking about it. And then the 3rd-round pick I have in this 3-round mock draft. Oh, wait. The Lions don't have any 3rd-round picks. It's unfortunate.
Oh.
It is. It's not an anti-Isaac Tesla thing, but this was like – you remember the conversations we had the day after the draft or the day after day 2 of the draft. It was like, that was a lot. Is this guy really going to be worth it? And then all the training camp buzz was, oh, yeah, it's totally worth it. And then he didn't do anything for the first half of the year, came along to the second. But now we're getting to the draft again. It's like, damn, really wish I had 2 3rd-round picks, not just one. Yeah, I wish I had a single 3rd-round pick. You know what would be nice? To have 2 of them. That's what they were supposed to have this year. They were supposed to have 2 3rd-round picks. And now they have 0. 0. Because instead they have Tesla. Shout out Hudsonville and the ice cream. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Yetter Insurance, as always, presents our 11 o'clock hour. Life happens fast, and Yetter Insurance is here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned in Midland. For decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yetter is the right coverage for every stage of life. We're live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Like and subscribe on the YouTube side of things if you haven't already. All the latest news on the Facebook. Kyle's going to take the news away here coming up in a little bit as well. Did get some Tigers updates with some injuries to report on. So that is all coming up. We'll keep you updated on you know what? Let's dive back into the Terrion Arnold thing when we come back too, because we have some listeners who might have missed it in the open. Crazy, bizarre situation to monitor the rest of the offseason. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mitt. Winters in Michigan, they can be brutal. And the last thing you want is for your furnace to quit on you when it's freezing outside. That's where Answer and Heating and Cooling comes in. They get your furnace running efficiently so you can stay warm inside your home. That's Answer Heating and Cooling. Keeps Midland homes cozy all winter long.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on By Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Here's the thing. I read this story. I think I've read it 3 times now. And there's a lot of names, so it's a little hard to follow everybody. But here's the gist of it. Terrion Arnold has a home in Florida. He rents it out. It was robbed twice. And Terrion Arnold, it is believed, thought it was the driver that he had hired to work for him down in Florida that had continued robbing him. So he hired people to basically lure this guy away. And it ended up getting to a point where there was a bunch of people held at gunpoint, which is considered kidnapping. It went on for a couple of hours. They beat him up. They held him at gunpoint. There was a robber. Bottom line, Terrion Arnold has not been arrested, but 5 other people have involving this incident. What we do know for a fact is Terrion Arnold's home was robbed of $100,000 in cash. Louis Vuitton, or it doesn't say Louis Vuitton bags, but high-end bags, Gucci, whatever it is. Phones, 1 cell phone, I think it was, and jewelry. What was going on at this Airbnb or rental home or whatever this was? What was going on in this place is my number one question, which is very similar to the question you proposed to me, which was, what was the question you asked? They tied hand in hand.
Why didn't he call the cops?
Yeah.
If he was getting robbed.
What's going on
Call
in this
the
Airbnb?
police. You're a celebrity, you know? Like, why would you take things into your own hands? That doesn't make any sense.
But I think that ties to my question of what's going on in this house. You didn't want the police to be, okay, why do you have $100,000 in it, like what I'm kind of, in my mind, viewing as a trap phone? What's going on in this place? What kind of stuff is going down? Why do you have $100,000 in cash? Something's not adding up here. And like I said, Terrion Arnold in this situation is, as of right now, the victim. The robberies, he's a victim of the robberies. The kidnapping, we don't really know. What we do know is he was in the car, allegedly. This is according to the court reports, was in the car with the guy who planned the entire thing. This is a situation definitely worth monitoring the rest of the offseason because I don't think it's going away anytime soon until this court case is closed or until Terrion Arnold has a helmet on and is in Allen Park. I kind of just am going to assume that this is going to linger over the offseason, which unfortunately means the Lions might have to start preparing for worst-case scenario, which is no Brian Branch, no Kirby Joseph, no Terrion Arnold the first week of the season. This is nuts. Like one of the crazier stories I can remember with a Detroit sports athlete in a long time.
Yeah, and I'm still surprised that like no major national news outlet has gotten on this, aka ESPN, NFL Network, Rappaport, Schefter, whatever it is. All the other Detroit news sites are on this now that the Detroit News was the one that broke this. But maybe they're just waiting for something else to happen here. But I'm just interested to see like whether like what the outcome is for Arnold aside, what the Lions do, because they've just been a zero tolerance policy type of organization, and they talk about the culture and everything and what represents the organization and this and that. And this, of course, clearly does not represent the organization well. And whether or not Arnold gets in trouble or not, he clearly is involved. Like that is something that is a for sure in this situation. So I don't know what's going to happen to him, but I think it's very smart to at least plan for a route where he's not around week 1, whether that's suspension, whatever it is.
If it's suspension, do you think that comes from the team or the NFL, or do you think the Lions are just like, you know what?
Well,
we're
the
good,
NFL will
and
probably
release
take
him?
3 full seasons to figure out a way to suspend him, you know, because they're pretty behind on stuff like this. But the Lions might. I mean, the Lions might take it into their own hands.
Is it off the table for them to just release him? See ya. Bye.
I don't think it's off the table. I don't want to go that extreme yet.
Yeah.
You know, that seems like the most extreme thing that could happen to Arnold.
But again, this seems like a situation where, like, even if he gets off the hook by the law because he never showed up to the point where these people were being held at gunpoint, which, like, again, like, kind of reading between the lines here, this isn't the report. Seems like Terrion Arnold kind of hired these people to kidnap them, or it went wrong or something with the play. But, like, Terrion Arnold took it into his own hands to settle these people for, like, try to get them to admit to robbing the home, because that's what happened for 2 hours when they were being held at gunpoint and getting beat up. is these guys were trying to get the alleged robbers to admit to stealing from Terrion Arnold. So if Terrion Arnold, like, even if he gets off the hook here legally because they can't prove that he hired them or whatever, either way, just kind of bad guy stuff, it seems like. To be involved in this doesn't necessarily represent the Detroit Lions way, to say the least. And you know what I will say, too? Can't blame Brad Holmes. Can't blame Brad Holmes for drafting a bad egg. Because you remember who was this guy's number one advocate his first year in the NFL? It was Nick Saban. Nick Saban had nothing but amazing things to say about Terrion Arnold. He was buddies with Terry Saban as well. Like, this guy was supposed to be a golden child. So can't blame Brad Holmes for drafting a bag of egg. I want to get that out of the way. This is not a Brad Holmes thing.
Nick Saban also advocated for Henry Ruggs.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All I'm saying is if the Lions truly want to stand on the high ground of morality, they probably get rid of Terrion Arnold, whether he gets suspended or in trouble by the law or not.
Yeah, that's what it, based off of the history of what the Lions have done in situations like this with cornerbacks. The fact that there is a history is kind of hilarious. Cam Sutton was gone. It was immediate. See you later.
Bye.
Different situation for sure with the player and just the situation that's going on itself. But, yeah, the Lions have been zero tolerance with this kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes down and just what we find out more about this as well.
Oh, this is not done.
Yeah.
By any means. 989-837-6125. This is 100.9 The Mitt. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We got our news coming up. We got our two traditions coming up. We got a guest coming up. It's all coming up here on the show. Mr. Appliance is your go-to fast, reliable home appliance repair right here in Midland. From refrigerators and ovens to washers and dryers and more, they'll get you back up and running. Keep your home running smooth with Mr. Appliance. Schedule service today at MrAppliance.pro.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in. Let us take a trip. No. Let us hit the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, Kyle, what's going on?
All right, let's get back into the news. I want to take a look at this NFLPA poll that we got, the Players Association poll. This is always pretty fun. They rank, all the teams based off of how good they are at this and that, blah, blah, blah. Let's go through, though, what the teams were the best, what teams were the worst, and then we will do the Lions as well, because we got to know how good the Lions were. So first off...
Wait, before you say this was, Woody Marks got this to not be public anymore.
Woody Marks?
Or not Woody Marks, Woody Johnson. He got this to not be public, and somehow ESPN got a hold of all the reports anyway. But this wasn't supposed to be public information this year.
Man, I guess ESPN just doing things differently, huh?
Except reporting on what happened in Florida with Terrion Arnold.
Sure. Anyways, the top-ranked organization. Have you seen this?
No, I have not.
Do you want to guess? I don't think you're going to get it. The
LA Rams.
The number one ranked organization.
LA Rams.
Not the LA Rams.
Close?
They're the 19th.
Oh. Jacksonville Jaguars.
No, not them. They're 5th, though.
I'm trying to think of a team.
Hey, you're hot, though. You're kind of hot there.
Tampa?
Yeah, you're closer.
Atlanta?
Tampa 29, by the way.
Oh, wow. Atlanta?
Nah, you're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong direction.
Oh, Miami.
The Miami Dolphins were the top-ranked organization. So they based this off of treatment of families, home game field, food and dining, locker room, training room, the coaches, everything, front office, all that stuff. They got an A or A- or better in all but 2 categories, and there's about 12 of them, so maybe 15 of them. Number 1 overall team, Miami, pretty crazy. Did you see who the last place team was?
No, but I have some guesses.
Okay.
The Cleveland Browns.
Not Cleveland Browns.
Who are the worst
They're
scummy
30th, though,
organizations?
so Cleveland's close.
Cincinnati, gotta be.
28th.
Wow.
Apparently they have a good weight room and a good training room.
So they got something good going for them. I remember the Cardinals had a really bad score the prior year.
They were the worst team last year.
Yeah.
31st this year, though.
So tell me, who passed them?
Offensive coordinator got a B-. That had to been Drew Petzing, right?
Yeah, it was.
Shout him. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the worst team. What?
Really?
Man, an organization that everyone speaks so highly of in the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they just, they're the worst ranked team, man. F for treatment of families. They get an F.
Jeez,
The
man.
Roonies, man. Oh, that's pretty tough. Team travel gets an F. Locker room gets an F-. Home game field gets an F-. I didn't know F- was available.
I didn't know
Team
either.
ownership D- too. Yeah, so
Yikes.
not good, man. Head coach, though, of course, Mike Tomlin gets an A.
Of course.
Just
That's right.
Classic, yeah. Anyways, let's close up this whole thing with the Lions. Where do you think the Lions fell in this? You think they were a top half team, top 10, bottom 10?
Yeah, I
What
think
do you
I saw this. They were 9th, right?
They were 9th. Yes, correct. Some of the things that they were ranked best on, locker room was an A. Special teams coordinator, an A. Your boy Dave Phipp, man. The guy you're out on, he gets an A. This is the big one, though.
Grant Stewart's like, I loved him.
Yeah.
He rocked.
I voted. Head coach gets an A, which is really good to see. Team ownership gets an A, which I think is definitely just a representation of how much this ownership group and the organization has turned things around in Detroit. Weight room gets an A. Strength coaches an A. Locker room gets an A. I think I already said that. So
Shout out Sheila.
worst thing they got.
Shout out Spielman.
Only thing that was below a B. Offensive coordinator, C-.
Johnny.
Shout out to Johnny Moe. Okay, last night, Con Knippel set the rookie three-point record with 207 threes. 59 games is all it took Con Knippel to break the record. You know who once held this record, Ben?
Steph Curry.
Sadiq Bey once held this record.
I remember the good old
Yeah,
Sadiq
big
Bey.
rookie year, three-point shooting. That got broken the following season by Keegan Murray. And it just kind of gets broken year in, year out. Knippel might just hold this, though.
For a while.
Because 207 threes, 59 games in, he's going to end up getting and not to 300, but he's going to get a ton. So, like,
He's got 259?
207 through 59 games. So,
I was going to say he might hit 300, but yeah,
he
probably
won't. But still, like, pretty cool stuff from Con Knipple. Some not cool stuff in the NBA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
He's such a loser.
Returning tonight for the OKC Thunder against the Denver Nuggets.
He's honestly such a loser, man. I mean, I told you this was going to happen. They ducked the smoke against the Pistons, and you and Brad were like, oh, well, he's actually just hurt. You can't say that. And I was like, he's going to play the next game. They just don't want to play him. And then Chet's playing as well. That Thunder team is soft. I will not be picking them to win the Western Conference. They got content. They're not about that smoke. They didn't want – it's everything wrong with the NBA. We're spoiling the fans. We're not spoiling the fans. We're taking away great matchups from the fans. It's the Thunder's fault. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, nope. Good thoughts.
Am I wrong?
I mean, yeah, he's a loser for sure. Like, should have played. I'm with you there. Let's do some quick Tiger stuff because are they ever going to win a game in spring training? Whoa, I mean, this is kind of getting out of hand at this point. You can't get worried about spring training, but they're winless, 0-5-2. They take on the Phillies today at 1 p.m. I mean, could they win one game? That'd be kind of sick, right?
Sure. I don't really care, to be honest. It's not the Tigers. This isn't the Detroit
Parker Meadows hitting leadoff today. That's the Tigers to me.
That's a little bit more.
That's the Tigers to me.
If you tell me the individual stats of the players, I'll care more than the overall team record.
Have you seen Riley Green's stats?
I have
He's
not.
0 for 25.
Are you serious?
No, I just totally made that up.
I was about to say, what's going on?
I don't think he's been doing great, but yeah, 0 for 25 is just wrong. Braden Smith last night in the loss to Michigan State did join an elite list. He got his 1,000th career assist. Only 5th player in college basketball history to get the 1,000 career assist mark. He's trying to catch Bobby Hurley, who's 1,076. Going to have a chance throughout the rest of this season. Of course, with the Big Ten tournament, there's a few extra games, the regular tournament. So, yeah, Braden Smith, his cool night gets spoiled, though, by the Spartans.
Tough luck for him. What happened to Purdue's home crowd? They've lost 3 games there this year. That never used to happen. 4. What happened? Michigan State both beat them.
Haven't lost. I looked it up. They haven't lost that many games at home since the COVID year, which kind of makes sense. So, yeah, man. Michigan also did beat Purdue at Mackey that year that MSU did as well. So 2014 was the last time that both Michigan and Michigan State won there. So still, I mean, been 12 years. Pretty cool stuff. There's not that many other big college basketball games on this weekend. Kansas, Arizona is on tomorrow, so that'll be a fun one to watch. But that's basically it. Let's end the news here with this. Of course, Michigan versus Illinois tonight on Fox at 8. NCAA football panel proposes changes to targeting ejections. So there's been some stuff going on. There was the SEC and Big Ten proposal to pool their TV rights. There's just a lot of new proposals going on in college football, but this one is interesting. The Division I football rules makers proposed a 1-year trial allowing a player who gets disqualified for targeting for the first time to play in his team's next game, regardless of which half the penalty was assessed. Of course, right now, if you get a targeting call in the second half, you have to sit out the first half of the next game. They want that to be removed from college football. And then under the same proposal, it would be the second time you get a targeting call, you would sit out the first half of the next game. A third targeting would be an ejection for an entire game. What do you think?
Does it mean we're looking at these plays even longer?
It's a good question.
Then I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I can't believe how much the college football and the NFL are like, you know what, we need to review things more. It kills the game, guys. I don't get it. I really don't. I get protecting the players, but like if this is gonna make the games take longer, then what are we doing?
I don't think it will, since it's like a post-game thing. But if that was your takeaway, then sure.
It's always my takeaway.
Last thing in the news, the Cowboys have officially franchise tagged George Pickens today.
I got one more thing for you, too. Troy Melton, little injury. Doesn't seem like he's going to be ready to start out the season.
Oof.
Kind of a tough L. Nice little middle reliever. Projected to be. All right, when we come back, we got a bunch of things to throw at you guys. We got the lock of the day. We got Guess and Colin scoping. And we got a little guest coming on who hasn't been on in a little bit, too, who has a few things to say. All right, that's all coming up. Hey, Midland, want to try something different and have some fun on the ice? Adaptive Learn to Curl is happening March 7th from 9 to 11 a.m. at the Greater Midland Curling Center. The event is free and open to all ages 8 and up and is designed for people with physical or development disabilities. No experience needed. Spots are limited, so sign up now at greatermidlandcommunitycenter.org/events.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, it's been a minute. I don't know, maybe a few months at the very least, right? Sarah Stockford, our director of sales, is here with us today. This used to be a weekly tradition, and it all started because, the first week of the Ben Bosscher show, all the way back in June, you came on a Friday and you were just like, Mahomes sucks, and we made it a reel, and you got famous in Kansas City. And then since then, we kind of made it a tradition, but then there was a little, I don't know, it felt like there was some nerve to it too. But
well, I think I kept getting bad feedback from you guys saying like, hey, that was like a terrible take.
Yeah.
And instead of just having a take now, I was overthinking it. So now I'm just bringing it back and not caring.
So we took a little bit of a break.
Yep.
We're feeling stronger mentally.
Yep. I'm now older, a year older. So.
So 33?
No.
30?
No. 29.
34?
29.
Oh.
29. Thanks. Yeah.
So she's back. First time in the new studio. What do you
That's right.
think?
It's great. It's great. The setup's a little different, but that's okay. I like it. New countertops. Very nice.
Easy to clean.
Easy to clean.
So tell us, what is your take of the week? Because
Okay.
I'm not going to lie, you've had some good ones off air over the past couple of months. I haven't remembered them all or wrote them all down. But is this a new one? Have I heard this one?
Yeah, you've heard this one before. You and I have actually argued about this because you're so on Aiden Hutchinson of living at home, okay? And like you're like, that's not cool, whatever. But I truly think that living at home with your parents is back because it's financially irresponsible. Okay, even though he has millions of dollars, yes, there's a time that you should move out. But I think we're flipping back, especially in this economy. You need to pay off some debt before you actually like move out. So I feel like you are maybe not being fiscally responsible. So this is on you. Maybe you're
like this
jealous
is
of the
very
people that live with their parents.
Okay.
Yep.
I feel like this is like there's a very specific example that you're using here.
Yeah, because you're always on Aiden Hutchinson. It's like, what if he just likes living with his family? Like, leave the guy alone. It's like it's back to live with your parents. So he's just in the trend now.
It's back.
It's back. Yeah, people are like, oh, you shouldn't live with your parents. That's weird. But like, maybe you should. You know, there's a lot of reasons behind why you should. It's fiscally responsible. You get quality time with your parents, with your, if there's other family members living in the house.
What's the reasonable like time frame where it's like, okay, now it's not back?
I feel like when you're, but this is, I guess, going to counter my Aiden Hutchinson thing. I feel like it's like, maybe you're in a relationship, like you're married and like you're still living with your parents. Like that's like, okay, maybe we should move out,
Yeah, no, that'd be a little weird.
Yeah. But I feel like once you're in a good financial spot and you feel like you should move out, you're done, you're kind of had that quality time with your family, that's when I feel like you should move on.
I see. I for real thought you were going to come on and give us a sports take.
No. I'm just going hot takes in my head now.
Okay. But
I had a good sports take, but it kept getting pushed about football, and now
what is it?
Football season's over. I feel like we should redo or like overtime. Well, you said that the take was too much, but the overtime in football should just be a set like 10 minutes. And whoever wins at the end of the 10 minutes wins.
That's what it is.
No, it's not. It's the first person to score.
It like literally is 10 minutes.
But it's like everybody has to get a possession, correct? And if it's not...
Oh, like you're saying it shouldn't end early? Like it should
Correct,
just end
yeah.
at the end?
It should at 10 minutes. No matter what, it should be 10 minutes long.
Oh, yeah,
no
yeah.
matter what.
I'm actually down for this because the way that it's
10
set
or
up,
15 minutes, whatever.
the way that it's it should be 10. The way that it's set up now with how like everyone can just it's like a guarantee you're going to score 3 points at the very least. And then it just leads to like milking. Both teams only get the ball once now.
Yeah, I
because
think
of
it's
how
not entertaining at all. If you play it all the way through to like the 10-minute mark, even if they're tied again, maybe you go double overtime. But I mean, how often does that happen?
It's just so easy to get back into field goal range with where they're started.
Right, so it's kind of boring.
Yeah, that's not bad, Sarah. That's not bad. It's much better than the living at home one.
Well,
I respect
I'm just
it
saying,
though.
living at home's
living
back.
at home is back.
I
What a
just
statement.
only said that because Ben is always beefing about people who live at home, and it's just like,
When do
leave
I do
them
this?
be. There's like been multiple times that you have mentioned it. This is at least the fourth about Aiden Hutchinson. So I needed to put a stop to it.
I think it's slightly weird that he makes he's the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL and still lives at home. That's all.
Okay.
What if
well,
you're like in your late 20s and you don't make $1 million? Is it acceptable, Ben?
Absolutely. In my opinion.
According to Sarah, yes. And she's always right.
That's right. You're understanding now, finally.
Well, that's amazing. Do you want to stay on for our lock of the day?
Sure. I'll hang out.
Okay, let's make some money. It's our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
I am going to that guy I called a loser in the last segment. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's back from an injury. I mean, he wouldn't rest against the Pistons on purpose and avoid playing against the number 1 seed if he wasn't going to come out guns a-blazing to the game that mattered to the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight against the Nuggets. A little bit more meaningful of a game there. I hate that I'm doing this because I think he is a loser for not playing against the Pistons, and he was ducking the smoke. But if he was ducking it, you better come out and play your best basketball tonight. Him to score 30 is plus 124. Usually that's minus odds because he's an over 30 points per game scorer. So I've got Shai to score 30 tonight at plus 124. You're not going to get value better than that coming back from the injury. And if you didn't play against the Pistons, well, you better bring it tonight against the Nuggets.
That guy's a loser.
Taylor fade, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm fading this, man. Major loser. I mean, like you said, why would I go with something that we were literally just talking about? We don't like Shai, you know?
You don't have to like Shai to make some money.
You also got it plus 110 this morning, by the way. So
seriously,
I see it's gone up, but like we got to go with what you got it at when we wrote this down, you know. So plus 110. Yeah, I'm fading this today. You did pick up a win yesterday though, so that's good.
SGA, Sarah, he's scoring 30 tonight. Are you tailing or fading me?
Yeah.
You asked me this a week or so ago. This is like new lingo for you, tail or fade.
Yeah, there's a lot of lingo I just don't know.
What's the number one lingo that
you
you
understand?
Hear in the
Tail or
office?
fade?
No, I still don't think I get it.
Tailing
okay.
is like, so a dog has a tail.
Yeah.
And it's always following the dog.
Yeah.
So you're following.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'm following. I'm going to do that too.
Okay.
It's like you're shadowing.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
And fading
I
would be
learn new
like the
things every day.
opposite of that. What's the number one lingo you hear in the office where you're like, I don't get what that means?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can pinpoint it. You guys, I feel like have your own language sometimes, and I just like ignore all of you, and they're like, "Did you get that?" And it's like, "Nope." Can you explain it to me like I'm 5?
A 10-year age difference will do that
right,
sometimes.
Right. A 10-year age difference. That's right.
She also doesn't get any of the brain rot stuff at all.
I don't.
That I don't blame her for, to be quite honest. That's on us.
We did put her on Kevin G though, so that's good.
Oh my god. Yeah, Brad said I look like Kevin G.
And that's our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right, the last thing we like to do is guess what Colin Cowherd opens with. That's how we end every show. That's how we'll end the week here. I kind of throwing darts here. Sarah, do you want to? You can guess first. I don't see why not.
I feel like there's not much going on, so I feel like there's not. It's gonna be a hard one. Definitely not the Red Wings, probably.
Yeah, nope, definitely not the Red Wings, probably.
I could probably name things that he's not going to open with.
How about you give me a couple things he won't open with so I can narrow down my guesses?
Probably not the Pistons. That's not going to happen.
You're probably right about that.
Probably not the Pelicans or Sabres. That's definitely not going to be up there.
These are very random teams.
Yeah.
Really wonder where these are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, whose turn is it to go
Pelicans
first amongst
or
you or I?
Sabres, right. It's my turn to go first today. The score is 46-40. You still own the lead.
Our audience has got to be like, what is going on?
Yeah,
right
no,
now?
they really do. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to go with George Pickens and the Cowboys.
Ooh.
That's going to be my lead pick today.
That's not bad. But remember that trend in the summer where we just picked Cowboys every day until because of the Micah thing, and then he just never would do it.
Yeah. Like I could see some grand scheme combine thing today for sure, but I'm just going to go with specific Pickens Cowboys talk.
No Terrion Arnold?
No. If Schefter's not on it, then Cowherd won't be on it.
Yeah, I'm just kidding mostly. It won't be Con Knipple. This is a tough one, man. I'll go with the pick that I've been. Raiders are just going to be my pick when I don't know what to pick this offseason. I'll go with the Raiders.
I don't mind it, man.
And Sarah's going with not the Red Wings.
Correct. I'm going with spring training.
Okay.
Spring
that's
training.
Honestly,
spring training.
That's
actually
a better guess than not the Red Wings.
It's not that bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any
You
team
never know.
specifically or just baseball in general?
I'm going Dodgers.
Okay.
Just because, a little biased.
How so?
The Loons,
That's right. All right. We had a pretty good week here, I would say. Not a whole lot going on this weekend other than the Wings playing on Saturday. We got the Wings in action. We got the Pistons in action tonight against the Cavs at 7. And then at 8 o'clock, we've got Michigan and Illinois in action. 2 pretty big games for both of those teams this week, which means you got to run the double TV setup tonight. So if you don't have the 2 TVs in the living room, well, go to your brother or sister's bedroom or one of the kids' rooms, steal a TV, bring it to the living room, and set up both of them so you can watch both games at once. If you walked into a guy's apartment and he had 2 TVs in the living room, ick or no?
Yes. Because it's like, you don't really have a life, do you? You got 2 of these.
But at least he has his own home.
Oh.
Nope.
Burn.
She didn't like that one.
No.
All right, like and subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. We're live every day at 9 a.m. Here on the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt. Just search 100.9 The Mitt on YouTube. We've got our Facebook as well. Get all the latest stats, stories, opinions, exclusive content on that side of things. We've got Instagram for exclusive video content. We've got YouTube for exclusive video content. We've got the TikTok as well. Just search the Ben Bosscher Show or Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. Before everyone goes, you got any final message for everybody, Sarah? We got to make this more of a tradition for you to come on.
I need to come on every Friday. I need to hang out.
Do it.
Sometimes I just want to chill with you guys,
That's fine.
Yeah.
You got any final goodbyes to our audience?
I'll be back. That's my final goodbye.
It's not bad.
I'll be back.
Kyle, any last message going into the weekend?
No, I just don't think living at home is back. That's all. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Kyle on this one. I'm sorry, Sarah.
I think you guys are the losers.
Yep,
so,
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are my last
Living on your own, loser.
Loser.
Yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. My final message to everyone going into the weekend is as followed: prepare for the worst with what's going on with the Lions secondary right now. Kirby Joseph, Terrion Arnold, Brian Branch, all of them not playing week 1. I don't know, 50-50. I don't love the odds. I'm not gonna lie. Time to revamp the secondary for the 4th consecutive year. All right, that's the Ben Bosch